I dreamt I stood on snow-capped peaks, touched passing clouds, no need to reach, then floated down o'er craggy falls, and came to rest near whitewashed walls. It seemed so real, not far to roam, to find this place, to make it home.
The Chronicles, the Chronicles, the Chronicles of AghyNarnia. The Chronicles, the Chronicles, the Chronicles of AghyNarnia.
And they were saying, yeah, we can't believe Aghyaran is a distillery. And we had to stop you to check. And I was like,
Oh my
I
God.
thought that was about something was gone wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
That would have been a good story for the...
I know, you might have to tell him again.
Hello there. Welcome to the Chronicles of AghyNarnia, the podcast that delves into the lives of everyday legends as they tell us their stories, the tales of yesteryears gone by and ones yet to come. I'm your host, Andy Dolan, a part-time teacher, part-time brother, part-time captain, part-time king, full-time wind-up merchant. I'm here with my fantastic co-host and friend Claire Devine as we both navigate our way to chronicle these amazing stories into becoming myth and legend. What can I say about Claire? She is a diligent pharmacist by day, a talented artist/musician by night, and above all, a mother 24/7. We both grew up in a wonderful little place in the middle of nowhere called Aghyaran, or as I have always called it, AghyNarnia. Whenever I told people where I was from, they would often struggle with how to pronounce Aghyaran. They'd say, what? So after a while, I just found it easier to say I was from AghyNarnia. I would tell them you go about 5 miles out the road from Castlederg, and if you pass a ranger, an elf and a dwarf running through the countryside chasing orcs, then you'll know you're on the right road. Not long after you lose your phone signal, you'll then come to a crossroads with an old abandoned wardrobe. Go beyond the wardrobe and turn left. But whatever you do, never turn right. We'll never find you again. So let me tell you about AghyNarnia, our beloved townland way out in the wild west of County Tyrone. Nestled in the rolling hills and enchanted woodlands of the north of Ireland, AghyNarnia is more than just a place on the map. It's a community rich in history, culture and stories waiting to be told. Join us as we explore the hidden gems, local legends and everyday lives of the people who call AghyNarnia home. The AghyNarnians. There's something magical in the air around home and there's something special in the water. Then again, we do have a distillery nearby, so maybe that's just the nth draft. In seasons to come, we'll venture further afield to other communities beyond the wardrobe, but never down that road to the right. In terms of socials, you can find us as AghyNarnia. So firstly, Claire, cracky Chan, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you very much.
You've been performing again?
I was performing twice on Saturday. I was Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty is back.
Yeah, I was doing a show with Justin. Justin Logue is doing Move to the Beat with Justin. It's a kiddie show for children that have trouble with speaking or hearing or communication, and we use Macathon in our show. And I was Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
And then I was
Is it right to say no better person?
No better person. my wee nephew was there and he's like, that's not Humpty Dumpty. And then I was I did a gig in the Reel in Donegal town.
Fabulous.
After, yeah. So I had a great night now, actually.
You're always busy, Claire.
Always busy.
So, who's our special guest today?
Well, today we have from the Wild Atlantic Distillery in Aghyaran, we have Brian Nash and Jim Nash.
Brian Nash and Jim Nash, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to meet
Delighted to be here.
Yeah.
Hey, that's an absolute privilege because what you've actually set up and what you've achieved over the last 5 years has been phenomenal. And
yeah.
A distillery in Aghyaran.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's amazing. And a legal distillery is
The only legal distillery in the area.
I'd say there's a few illegal ones about somewhere.
HMRC basically said,
allegedly.
HMRC said to us when we first set up, look, you'll be the only legal one in the area and we know where the other ones are.
So you've got your first warning here.
There's too much trouble going after them boys. So well, let's kick things off. So if you wouldn't mind just telling us some memories of your own home, because I know you're not originally from Aghyaran, but you've ended up in Aghyaran. But what's your memories of your own home life, where you're from, who your family were, and what life was like growing up for you guys?
Well, I'm originally from County Clare, so I grew up in a place called Kilkishen, East Clare, or the hurling part of the county, as we like to say. So Clare is divided down the middle. It's East Clare is all hurling and West Clare is all football. So that's where I grew up. Beautiful village, not far from Bunratty Castle, Cronoe Castle, and the Pogue, full of history. And I remember my teenage years working as a tour guide in the Cranogues and the Ring Forts and all these areas, which were absolutely beautiful.
So much history.
Yeah, absolutely history. Close to the burn, you know, Lahinch, childhoods at the beach in Lahinch. Surfing wasn't a big thing in my time. Probably giving away my age now. It's much bigger. But no, so yeah, a fabulous childhood. My dad's family from that region. My mother was from Sixmore Bridge, and she was a McGregor, and my dad was a Nash, Juné. So that's where we grew up. Summers in the bog, using the schlag, cutting the turf. Yeah, cutting the turf. And I remember summers with the old pitchfork, doing the reeks of hay and stuff like that. But great memories and great friends and great times.
Especially the bog. We've talked about this before. The teas you would have had.
Yeah.
And the crack and the store. It always tasted like the best tea you ever had.
But I will say one thing about it. People talk about peated Irish whiskey. I grew up in the bog. My granddad used to make a little bit of spirit. I can guarantee it probably wasn't legally, but turf was never let anywhere near it. Let me tell you that now.
Controversial.
Definitely, controversial, and definitely I say this to other distillers in the region, people that we know well. We're always joking them about it, but it's definitely a Scottish thing for us, and for where I grew up, it was definitely that. But great memories and great times, and fond.
You had a few links to Donegal too, I think.
Yeah, my uncle was retired now. He was a Garda sergeant up in Milford for a good few years.
Oh, right.
Bernard Nash. And I remember coming to Petticoat in the 70s as a child, coming up for the summer and then up to Milford, and 2 weeks of your summer holidays were up in Donegal. Beautiful part.
Oh, wonderful place.
And they have a saying over there where you say don't turn right, they have a saying don't turn left.
Is that the road to Castle there?
Yeah. You avoid County Tyrone.
He figured out right was Donegal.
Well, I do remember and going into Strabane when the Woolworths was there.
Oh yeah,
in those days, and shopping in Woolworths and everything else.
Remember crossing the border?
Crossing the border, and then I remember in '95 when we came back. Got married. The border roads just opened.
Yes.
And being able to drive across the border roads in '95 was unbelievable. What we remember as a child, having to do the long route around. You know.
I remember like trips up to the border up here at Crawbridge, and somebody else would be meeting you at the other side. You had plastic bags to put over your shoes, cross the river, and then get picked up by somebody. Well, if they weren't there, you just started walking until they eventually. But it's just bizarre to think back to those days.
I know. Yeah, unbelievable. But great memories of this part of the world and Donegal and everything else like that, and the summer and childhoods and everything else.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Brian? You've come from further afield.
A little further afield, yeah. So originally I'm from Plymouth, so I spent most of my childhood there. I come from my father's side, he's from the Midlands. My mother, she's from Fife in Scotland.
Right.
So there is some Celt in me.
Yes.
That's probably why I can make good whiskey. And
No peat though.
No peat, even though I've got some Scots in me. And spent all my life in Plymouth. Ocean way of life, sailing, teaching sailing, diving. You think of any water sport, I've done it. I do it, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the ocean, and that kind of dragged me towards my career. So I'm a marine engineer.
Right.
So I spent my life traveling the world, fixing any super yacht you can imagine. I've been on it. Commercial shipping. I'm an ex-radio officer for Merchant Marine.
Wow.
Submarine pilot, trainer. So yeah, it's been a diverse career today.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And but a really enjoyable one. I think that's why we've introduced a lot of maritime themes into the distillery, because it just harks back to my memories. Which are
passion,
really,
even.
my
Yeah,
passion,
passion,
very much so. And Plymouth, England, it's the southwest of England. It's stunning countryside. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember taking Marie there for the first time in the 90s, and she basically said, "Oh my God, this place is like Ireland, but with sunshine."
Sunshine exists.
Oh my
Sunshine
goodness.
exists. Trust me, it is out there, people.
Oh, lovely.
And Cornwall and Devon, it's just beautiful, beautiful sort of scenery, and it's a very rural way of life.
Yeah.
Probably why I really enjoy living here, because there's connections there.
Yeah.
And the contrary people.
Well, possibly. Could possibly speak to that.
That could be the Scots in him.
Yeah, that's whenever I'm sort of bargaining about a price.
Yeah.
That's my Scots coming out.
Yeah.
That's kind of a small brief history of myself. My mother used to work in the pottery industry.
Oh, wow.
And my father, interestingly enough, is an ex-copper, XRAF. You know, but both obviously were wartime children. That sort of generation, a very, very different generation to what we live in now, thankfully. But I was reared by a tough sort of Midland copper and a very tough Scots mother.
Just the right blend of whiskey.
Just the right blend.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Where did the Aghyaran connection, where did the famous Byrne sisters come into play for both of you?
Well, interesting enough, we both travelled abroad.
Yes.
We were, and you think about our surnames, it's kind of weird.
I know, actually. I actually was misreading that, thinking you were both Nash, and then I was like, "Hey, brothers," and I was like, "No, sure, one."
So you can imagine a Nash in LA, an Ash in Spain, and meeting two Byrne sisters who travelled in opposite directions, and meeting two people of a very similar name,
And dragging us back here.
Kicking and screaming.
Not necessarily kicking and screaming. The funny thing, I've been coming here to Aghyaran, and the funny thing is, it's taken me 20 odd years to actually say it near correctly. I don't always spell it correctly, but I've been coming here since the mid-90s. And I remember getting married in Aghyaran Chapel in the year 2000. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be living here 7 years later. We were living in Spain, we had sunshine, we had yachts, all that sort of stuff to sail on, and drive me back to Aghyaran.
Very, very similar as well.
Yeah.
Lucy and I came back married in 95 in Aghyaran, in the chapel, of course. And as I said, at that time the borders just opened up, so we were able to cross. We lived away for over 20 years, so we were in London and New York, Los Angeles, Florida, all over the place, in different places.
What were you working at?
At a bar and restaurant in Florida for a good number of years, managing restaurants, hotels all over the world.
Yeah.
So that's what I did for well over 20 years. Until I came back. Though I came out of college with a law degree, but I never used it. Got hooked into hospitality and loved meeting people and talking to people and working with people, and enjoyed that for well over 20 years until we came back and started working on the distillery. But came back and went back as a student then to McGee to study psychology, and I spent 10 years working with children in care and children with intellectual disability, and managing centres for kind of young adults with intellectual disability transition into the community, creating employment opportunities and stuff like that.
Tough
so I did
work,
that.
but very rewarding.
Very rewarding. I love that. I loved working in the community and all that kind of work as well, until we started the distillery, and then we continued to do that for a little bit while we started the distillery. But thankfully we started to get so busy that I had to step away from that and go full time into the distillery. Because,
amazing. So really different backgrounds altogether then.
Different backgrounds, living away for a long time. But like Brian, I grew up in the country, but I'd spent so many years living in cities that I always thought I was going to be living in a city. And to come back into the country again, I enjoy getting up on a Saturday morning and walking down the road and going for your breakfast. And then when those days when I was single, going to watch the football for a pint in the afternoon and stuff like that, and just everything was in walking distance. You could do all of that. So to come back then, and you're driving everywhere and you're in the middle of the country. But we settled back in pretty quickly. Great area, great community.
So like if it wasn't for the Byrne sister, you two never would have met each other?
Never. Well, I met Lucy in London, and you met Marie in Lanzarote.
And it's funny, I had a conversation, we're 25 years married, just gone, and we had a conversation about all the little instances that had to occur for us to meet. And I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about my wife, Jim. And it's funny, I was living in Cornwall as an RO, a radio officer, fixing merchant marine ships, fishing boats, all that sort of stuff, marine engineering. And a friend of mine said, look, why don't you come to the Canary Islands just for a holiday and see if you like it? It's like, okay, I'm young, I'm free, I'm single, let's go. And I think within 6 months I'd quit my job and I'd moved to Lanzarote.
Wow.
And then Marie had been working in London. Obviously knew you. She was offered a job by Roisin McSorley, who obviously is
from the neighbourhood.
Sadie's daughter?
Sadie's daughter. So that's the connection. I find little connections quite interesting. So she went to work for Roisin, and we met as friends ultimately, and there was only this one bar in this port and one restaurant, and that's where we all, as a gang, we all sort of congregate. And yeah, heady days, completely heady days.
25 years later, you're just falling in love.
Yeah. and there was little things where, you know, she was thinking about becoming a teacher and moving back here. I was offered a job in San Diego as a chief engineer on a super yacht. I turned that down, and she turned down teaching and stayed in Spain. I then was offered a job as an engineer for a tourist submarine company. So we stayed together as friends. Yeah. And then so there's lots of chances for us to
separated and gone your
exactly,
separate
but
ways.
all these little decisions kept us sort of all together to the point where, you know, she said, I'm going home this Christmas, do you want to come with? We'd been going out for a long time. I skipped a little bit there. and that was my first introduction in the mid-90s to Aghyaran, which is a very different place in the 90s than it is today.
Yeah, absolutely. Some changes.
Which didn't scare me off, though.
Yeah, obviously not.
So yeah, that's it. All those little connections brought us here.
So that tells the story of how you got here. Tell us the story of how you came up with the distillery.
It's kind of a combination, wasn't it?
Yeah, we both had jobs and careers, and we were both doing that.
Yeah.
But I think we just wanted to do something else.
Certainly from my point of view, a bit of pressure because I was spending too much time away. Because I'm the only landlocked marine engineer.
Okay.
Not much sort of boating or yachting in Aghyaran. I have looked. And so it was a case of, look, we need to find something we can do here. Yeah. And you were looking for something new to do here. And I hate to say this, we were around a table, a kitchen table, and I know we got glasses of water in front of us. But this particular evening we had a glass of gin with us. And it was just a typical sociable evening we were having.
Bouncing idea, and we had some crazy ideas.
I mean, some nuts ideas.
We're not going to say them, but...
No, I mean, in fact, I was
You
just
might
about
still
to,
come.
I'll stop. And one of the ideas was essentially, how hard could it be to make gin?
Really?
By the way, folks, it's really hard. And it kind of started there. A little nutshell formed. It's like, okay,
let's
see what it would take to do it.
Yeah.
And we bought a little 25-litre still, stuck it in Brian's garden shed, cleared out his shed, stuck it the little 25-litre still in there, and we spent the next year...
Got a license.
Yes.
Refractor's license at the time. I don't think you need it anymore,
No, you
but
don't.
in those days you did. And started literally
Practicing.
every free evening and every weekend that we had free, we were over there making gin. And every Friday night was tasting night. That was the amazing...
Plenty of parties then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
It took us a full year.
Yeah, to get it right.
to get it right.
Some of the stuff we were making was brutal.
And we look back, that first night we made, that first Friday we sat down to time, we looked at each other and said, this is so easy. This is so easy. We cracked it like. We look back now, and I mean, if the stuff didn't kill you, it wouldn't be far off it.
And it's such a funny story about that sort of garden shed, and it does make me smile. So this was before the days we had the gates on because of HMRC. So gates then. So my garden shed had a window on the front and it would look down the drive. And because we were, practicing, we had a little roller blind. So we would sort of...
we wanted to keep it quiet.
We want to keep it quiet.
Everybody thought we were nuts.
Because also, we may not do this. Ultimately, it's an idea. Can we do it, but shall we explore it? And this one day, so we get the postman come all the time, and it's our regular postman, and I'm sure you know who it is, but I'm not going to mention his name. Whenever he drove up, we'd see him, we'd roll down the blind. And this went on for at least 8 weeks. He'd rock up, we'd roll down the blind, and then disappear. And then this one particular day, postie arrived, and we rolled down the blind, but we didn't hear the car leave. And then next thing, I had a rat-a-tat-tat on the shed door. In 25 years, I've never had mail delivered to my shed. But there was Posty going, afternoon, boys. Just thought I'd drop the post in. And what are we up to?
You don't get away with too much. So it was a full year of working on that, and then we had a bottle of gin by the end of the year, and the Taste of Donegal was on 2019, August of 2000. Sadly, it's gone now. It never came back after COVID. It was a great festival for craft food, and you get 20,000 people over a weekend in Donegal, and it was fabulous, and it was all run by volunteers. They were great crowd. Mary and her husband and all the team down there were brilliant people. They all work for the council, but they volunteer volunteered to run the show. And then COVID came in and all of it stopped, sadly. But we took 30, 40 bottles down to the show just because we needed to see what people thought of what we'd done.
Feedback.
Yeah.
Did we have, we felt we had something, we had to test
100%.
it. And the feedback was just ridiculous. It was phenomenal. And we just knew we had something. And then literally came back after that and said, right, we're going to build a distillery.
Yeah, no, absolutely was all of that. And now this was the 2019, mid
It was
2019.
2019 August, end of August, because we'd just done a taste of Donegal.
Yeah, so then obviously we had a slight challenge getting planning permission. But the team we had then, which is interesting enough, the same team we have now, we got it in 3 months. And then it was just a case of getting the right licensing from HMRC, and they were pretty good with us, to be honest. Interesting stories, but we won't go into some of them. The main story I remember is after they'd sort of grilled us for lots and lots of hours.
About 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense.
Really?
Pretty intense.
Your background, everything. See what you were doing to us, it was 100
It
times
was
worse.
like, it was some,
I didn't know we were
there was some screws and everything. And this one sentence that the lady from HMRC said to both of us is, "Look, chaps, we can be the best of friends or the worst of enemies. You decide which." It's like, okay,
Follow the rules.
Just been warned. Follow the rules. And ultimately, you have to because there's no point messing around with HMRC. So that was quite interesting. They basically gave you a letter of intent to say, right, if you do what you say you're going to do, this letter of intent's there for 12 months. So we'll be back. We'll renew it as time progresses. So this is mid 2019.
So you're never guaranteed then, really, are you?
Well, no, the letter of intent says if you do what you say you'll do,
You'll get the licenses.
we'll give you a license.
Okay.
Yeah.
And normally it's a case of a lot of people try this and then realise it's not
It's
for them.
it's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of money and a lot of resource and ultimately some people decide it's not for them. But by Christmas we called them up and said, okay, it's built. And they went, what? What do you mean it's built? We only gave you the letter 6 months ago. And it's like, no, we're finished. Come and check us out. And they came up, checked us out. We'd done exactly what they asked for, what we said we'd do. It was built. And we got a license.
Wow.
Yeah, but that whole building process, like, I mean, it was family, it was cousins, it was nieces, it was nephews. I mean, the whole interior was done by family. We built it from the ground up. The only thing that came in on top that we bought was the shed. Then Brian, being an engineer, he installed all the equipment inside. Myself and Ronan Dolan then did all the interiors, woodworking. Ronan's master carpenter, he did all the interiors, and I was there holding everything while he was banging the hell out of it, cutting the wood and doing all that kind of stuff. But so it was all family involved. And 1st of February 2020, then we opened it, and we had 200 local people in that came up. And we went around the whole community just dropping invitations in to everybody's homes, and 200 people showed up on the day and came in to see what we'd done and everything else like that. So it was unbelievable. And then 6 weeks later, COVID hit, of course.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Scary times.
That was.
You were just riding high and then...
Then literally we shut down overnight. Well, the problem we had, unlike other distilleries, we had no connections. We were brand new. Everybody in 2019 was saying, yes, once you're up and running, we'll take your product.
We had 6 distributors at the Taste of Donegal that gave us cards and said, we want your product. And we said, give us 6 months so we build a distillery and then we'll come and see you. 6 months later it was COVID and nobody wanted to touch it.
No.
God,
They only wanted core products.
They only wanted core products. They wanted nothing new. They wanted just what they knew what was going to sell. They weren't shaking a chance on anything. But ironically was the hand sanitizer, because we started making hand sanitizer and supplying it around, and that got our product into shops, because I remember Andy's up in Stranora. It was March, beginning of March, and we just got permission to do hand sanitizer, and I walked in with a 5 litre for £24, and they had just bought 15 litres for €550.
Jeez.
And there was a lot of price gouging going on, if you remember those early days. But automatically, like, we went out then to shops, and a lot of these would have off licenses and stuff, and they took the hand sanitizer, and then as a kind of a thank you, they went, have you got gin? And we go, yeah, right, give us your gin. And they put the gin into their shop, and we were doing it ourselves at the very
really
beginning.
Good business move.
It was, it kind of got our
name out there.
Our name out there, and got our product in on the back of the hand sanitizer.
It's a pivot, ultimately. What you can do is, if we didn't pivot, we wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
The
you would have
business would have
crashed.
stopped. So pivot onto that. And the thing is, we didn't make any real money on it. Kept the lights on. But from a branding exercise, it put us in people's view. And we supplied to hospitals and even the doctor's surgery free of charge, even the care homes free of charge. And we did that for a couple of years, actually. And we realised we had to come back after COVID and sell our gin. And we wanted to be remembered as somebody who didn't put the hand in, essentially, on a bit
when
of hand
everything was
going crazy.
going
So
crazy, yeah.
we just put it at a bare basic price, just to make a small profit and keep going.
And we got an awful lot of goodwill out of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there were stores up in Derry taking it and taking our gin into Derry and places
Store
like
in
that.
Belfast.
And Enniskillen and Belfast and a place like that you'd never heard of us, but they'd heard of the hand sanitizer. And I know you have a thing about Donegal, Andy, but Donegal Council ordered off us at the very beginning. Gave us a substantial order at the time, so I love Donegal Council.
They're very much part of why the doors were still open.
Why the doors are still open, yeah. You know, we were fortunate.
Connection there again,
Yeah.
see, yeah.
It's kind of crazy days. I remember, you know, we were, our first batch of hand sanitizer was from gin.
Yeah,
And I
that's
was like,
right.
this is sacrilegious.
How many good Friday nights can I have on that?
It's crazy.
It smelled so good. Yeah, no. We still get
wonder
requests.
they kept ordering it.
We still get people saying to us, you know, is there any chance you can make that hand sanitizer? It smells so good. And we're going, no, that's long gone now, you know.
Yeah. But then what was a real sort of interesting one is that we got asked to provide all the hand sanitizer and advertising for the Open.
Yeah, the Irish Open at the time in
Yeah.
the middle of COVID.
Because they really liked what we were making, so it wasn't sticky.
Yeah,
So it was really clean.
Yes.
and it
Yeah.
dried
They
up
loved it.
really quickly, and the
Dried
golfers
up,
loved it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were asked to do that, which was really interesting, and it's good PR for us as well.
Yeah.
Like it was
Unbelievable.
international.
Such an opportunities just opened up, didn't
It was
they?
massive, like, you know.
Again, it was just one of those really strange things. I remember everybody was sort of on furlough and all that sort of stuff. We were working our butts off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we were like the plastic kings because literally every little plastic applicator or container, which you couldn't get back then, everybody was buying it. We were just buying as much plastic as we could, literally to satisfy the hand sanitizer requirements.
Yeah.
And again, it sort of kept us going, but from a distiller's point of view, it's awful. Absolutely
All
awful.
the alcohols.
Yeah.
It's such shocking. Well,
It's a shocking waste of alcohol.
shocking waste of
Yeah.
alcohol, but it was
a means to
for
an
good
end.
cause. But I remember, like, I mean, crazy things like, you know, we always made sure to buy plastic containers using a credit card because we ordered 5,000 bottles to come in that we badly needed to fulfill and get out to people. And the order was meant to arrive in 3 days. It never arrived. So we rang up saying, "Where's our order?" And after we just bought it, somebody came in and gazumped us, and they sold it to somebody else for a higher
No
price.
way.
And never told us, but we were able to claim it back through the credit. It was like the Wild West, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous stuff going
Crazy
on.
stuff.
There
Yeah.
You know,
was.
and you didn't believe you had a shipment until it was actually
There.
in the
front
distillery.
yeah.
And as soon as we got it, we filled it and it was gone.
Yeah.
You know, the demand was ridiculous at the
Yeah.
time. It was good for us, but it wasn't what we had set out to do. And you know
No,
that.
but we couldn't distill because ultimately nobody was interested in taking our products.
Yeah.
I mean, our whiskey still was delayed. That should have been with us early 2020. We got it early 2021 because our factory was closed. So it took a year extra to
get
get
it.
the
To
whiskey
Get the
still
whiskey,
in.
yeah. And so the turnaround then from COVID to how did it, like when did that?
Yeah, it was kind of maybe 18 months, I would guess, wasn't it? About 18
18
months
months, 2
afterwards.
years,
18 months, 2 years. So, you know, even though we say we're going 5 years, we pretty much lost 2 years in the middle of
Yeah.
it, making hand sanitizer and just like going that way. But after that kind of started to settle down and peter out, then it was back to getting our product out there again and branding it again and working on new products. So, you know, we had the gin, then we had the Amalfi vodka, we had the core vodka. We have the Wild Strawberry and Elderflower gin now. We have our first whiskey, but we laid down our first whiskey cask when we got the still installed and up and running on the 21st of December 2021. So we managed a full year, more or less 18 months almost after we'd planned.
Yeah.
We laid down our first whiskey cask, and that for us was a massive moment because the goal had always been the whiskey. Even though we started learning with the gin and
Yeah.
stuff like that, we were always about the whiskey. And we were the first distillery in over 100 years to lay down whiskey in the Derry Strabane district legally.
Wow.
Legally,
Very
yes.
important word. Since the closure of the Watt distillery in 1921.
That's right, yeah.
Which at the time was
a
the
strike, wasn't
biggest distillery,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was the biggest whiskey producer in Ireland at the time. 2 distilleries in Derry, both closed in 1921, 300 people out on strike, and they never came back. You can just imagine if that heritage had survived.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know, and then we came across an amazing piece of history about the region in 2019 in County Tyrone here. Nephew was looking to build a house.
Oh, yes.
And his uncle said to
Fairness,
him, down the bottom of the field there, it's all overgrown. He said, but I think it's the ruin of a cottage. And as you know, if you've got an old cottage there, you can clear it off and you get planning permission on
Yeah.
it. But when he cleared it all off, he discovered a basement. And in the basement were 200 bottles of Irish whiskey hidden behind lined in alcoves with peat
Brown
and moss.
liquid.
Brown liquid, sorry. Brown liquid. He pulled off the moss and the peat, and then he got the brown liquid.
Yeah.
And then he rang the guys from Scotland, WHISKY, whiskyonline.com, and they sent a few guys across to have a look at what he'd discovered. Took some samples back to Scotland and came back and said that, yes, 99.9% certain that this is whiskey, and going on the style of bottle would be dated to 1840 to 1860.
Oh my goodness.
That had been hidden for that length of time in County Tyrone. We discovered the story in March or so of 2020. It had already gone to auction, the whole collection, and it had been sold at Sotheby's or Christie's, one of these auction
Because
houses.
they said like the uniqueness even of the bottles.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
stored in.
And it's known as, if you go into whiskyonline.com under Tyrone Find,
Yeah.
that amazing history. But at that period of time, there would have been hundreds, maybe thousands of illicit distillers all over the country producing. And still and all that heritage was lost.
What part of Tyrone was that, Jim? Do you remember?
We just know that it was in West Tyrone. They never gave out specifics about
Right.
exactly where it is. So I tell everybody it was close to the distillery, which is still
There's still another 100
Ah,
bottles there
still
somewhere.
within shouting distance of
The
the
mystery
distillery.
that is.
And I'm sure in a few years I'll be saying that it was Alec Byrne that would do it.
I would say that was great initiative and thought, just the way you released it with the anniversary of
Yes.
the Watt Distillery closing, like in 2021, like that was
Yeah.
forward thinking on your own behalf,
Yeah.
like
Well, it was fortuitous more than
yeah.
anything else, because
Right.
it was fortuitous.
Yeah.
In that, if our whiskey still had arrived a year earlier, it would have been 2020.
2020, yeah.
So actually, these things happen for a reason.
It's very
Fate
easy, yeah.
just
And then obviously we came out with the 1921 release, which pretty much sold
Pays
out.
homage to that kind of history and
Yeah,
that story and that
and
tradition.
that was our
Like,
first single malt. And the thing about a distillery, a whiskey distillery, the most important liquid from any distillery is cask 001 and the bottles that come from it, because there's only so many bottles in a cask. There's like 320 odd bottles in this cask in the world. That's it, 320 bottles of first release Aghyaran whiskey in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they went far and wide, which is lovely, and really pleased with the liquid. We nurtured this whiskey. And the funny thing about white spirits are a very different animal. You make gin within a month and sell it. Whiskey is a very different thing. You've got to make the distillate. You've then got to put it into a barrel, and you've got to select the barrels very carefully. You've got to lay them down, and because they can't call it whiskey until they've been in the cask for 3 years and 1 day.
3 years and 1 day.
3 years and 1 day. Okay.
Who decided that now?
It's in the Irish technical file of making whiskey. And ultimately it comes down to, from a revenue point of view and a control mechanism point of view.
Okay.
Because, this is not, it wouldn't have been done several hundred years ago. A barrel was there to just transport the liquid. But ultimately what was found over time is that, older barrels which didn't get actually emptied, the whiskey got better. And then there was a lot of sort of background, why is it getting better? And then it fully understood now what's going on in the maturation process. But that's not why the barrels were originally used. They were a transport mechanism. So barreling is super important. But, equally, there's a big argument, or discussion, I should say, with regards to, is it the barrel that does all the work? Or is it the distiller does all the work?
Yeah.
I'm on the distillation side, strangely enough.
You have to pick the barrel.
the patience to wait 3 years and 1 day.
Well, you've got to get good whiskey, you've got to get good new make spirit, and then put it in the correct barrels. And with this expression we did is super important to us. We invested a lot into this.
Can imagine.
Bespoke bottles, bespoke closures, bespoke boxes,
Barrels even.
bespoke barrels. Ultimately there was finishing cask. We spent 2 years in a bourbon barrel, a Jack Daniel's barrel, and then which comes all the way from Kentucky. And then we wanted this particular finish on the whiskey, and there was this one particular cask we wanted, but you couldn't get this cask because the bodegas in Spain wouldn't release them. And we'd spoken to our cooper, and we basically said, look, if this cask ever becomes available, let us know. And we met her, Annette there, and she's, Brian, got the cask. Like, I'll buy it. She goes, I haven't even told you the price yet. I don't care. We want that. Give me that cask.
Now.
No, and we're talking 3 figures for this cask, okay? And it's empty,
Cheekers,
right? Well, I say it's empty.
I'm like, what?
You get about 10 litres of sherry inside the cask. It comes wet. It keeps the cask alive, and the sherry is spectacular. spectacular.
Yeah, it's beautiful. actually.
And that's the key. If the liquid which was in the cask
It's good.
is spectacular, the whiskey
The
that
whiskey's
comes
gonna
out
be good
will be
too.
spectacular. And we actually, we still drink it, ultimately.
Yeah.
Part of the tour, people get to taste this sherry as well. And we even had it on Christmas Day. Usually the Byrne clan get together,
Yeah.
20 plus people around the dining room table.
Sherry
And-
trifle.
Yeah, sherry trifle.
It was a very good sherry trifle.
It's a very good sherry trifle.
Yeah.
And we don't do port and cheese, we do sherry and
Yeah.
cheese.
Very good.
So and then it's been released, it's out there now, it's sold out, but then follow quickly on to our blend, which is our volume product. And again, it's a 3-year-old whiskey, and the funny thing about an age statement on whiskey is quite interesting, and we discuss it quite a lot. So you'll get a brand new distillery opens up, and they're selling an 8-year-old whiskey. How you done that, lads?
Yeah.
You didn't make it.
Yeah.
You went and bought somebody else's whiskey, you slapped a label on it, and essentially you're selling somebody else's provenance. Which is fine to a degree, I suppose. We tend to be a bit more purist about it. If we haven't made it, what's the
How
point?
are you claiming it?
How you claim it?
Yeah.
We had the discussion at the very beginning. There's two ways that it goes. Is that if you're starting a distillery, you can do that. Go out and get somebody else's liquid bottle label, and you're showcasing what you will be doing in the future to come out. And there's nothing wrong with
Jim's
that.
doing
You do it that
diplomatic
way.
thing.
No. And the other way is to do what we did, which is the white spirit, and then release a 3-year-old, and that's our whiskey, and bring it
Yeah.
out. And the blend includes our single grain, our single malt whiskey in the blend as well. So it's a grain whiskey with our single malt blended together and finished in those very special casks.
Yeah, so
Now,
instead
not
of
for
a
as
year,
long.
instead of a year, we put them in those casks for
For a
1
month, yeah.
And so it's a nod to the original.
original.
Okay, yeah.
But the plan is to get to the single malt where it's our signature release, but we can do it in the volume.
Yeah.
Thousands of bottles, so
Yeah.
But for that, we need thousands of casks.
we need
Oh,
thousands
yeah.
of casks.
And the time to
and
go
the
with
time,
it. Yeah.
and the time to go with it.
Yeah.
But that's the joy of whiskey. Yeah? I mean, we are building a legacy here.
Yeah, so it's about
says it on the
you
wall.
constantly need to reinvest and
Have you tried digging up around the old cottages around it?
Exactly.
Constantly out there with a shovel.
You'd be surprised what you find and what it could be worth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it just shows, and it's all coming back now. Like, I mean, we've over 40 distilleries in Ireland, north and south now, and we're part of the Northern Ireland Spirits Trail, which is 13 distilleries across Northern Ireland.
Brilliant.
Which is with Tourism and Tourism Ireland promoting it all over the world. So you can visit the distilleries, get your book stamped, and people come and we stamp their book, and then they go on to the next distillery, and they may not come back to a distillery in Northern Ireland for 2 or 3 years, but they come back with their book and they get it stamped,
Yeah.
But when they do come back, they come back to ours.
and then they come back to
As a
ours.
prime example, we had a group of Americans. We
Yeah.
didn't know who was coming.
Yeah.
We had a group of 25 Americans
Last Sunday,
arrive
yeah.
on Sunday, Father's Day, because Jim booked it. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah,
Keep on working.
30 years married and it almost ended on Father's Day.
And so all these Americans come in, and went, hang on, some of them look familiar.
Yeah.
And actually, there was a group of 7 in amongst the 25 who'd come with us in 2022.
2, just when COVID
Yeah,
was.
and they did the tour, and they basically said, look, you've got to come back
Yeah.
to the Wild Atlantic Distillery. The tour's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they all came in again, and they had a great time.
Well, yeah, because one of the ladies there, her husband was on the tour the last time, and I remembered him because he's a bit of a character, Michael, and he loved it. I mean, our tour is generally an hour and a half. You get a drink it and stuff like that. But in those early days, sometimes the tour would go on for 3 or 4 hours.
Sounds like our podcast.
They'd be doing the wee tasting and stuff like that. And I remember Michael at the time, and God rest him now, he passed away there. October, yeah.
Yeah.
But his wife insisted on coming because
Oh.
he'd had such a good time, and she has such fond memories that she wanted to come back in, and she wanted to get another
lovely.
picture done and everything else. So you get memories like that.
Yeah,
People
really
coming
that's
back.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, and we get people. This is the ironic thing about it. We get people from all over the world. So, we get people from Eastern Europe. We get people from Europe itself, from the UK, from America, from Canada. The amount of people that have discovered Aghyaran.
I know that's the
just
same in
visiting.
Aghyaran on the map.
Yeah.
It was already there.
And then I
Just
was
difficult to pronounce.
I was
Yeah.
kind of telling you a little bit earlier about
Oh,
the time
yeah,
I was
the
coming
story,
down.
yeah.
I was. This was in the early days, and I was driving down the M1 from Belfast, and just coming down the road, and I'd done a tasting or something up there, and a vehicle behind me was flashing, and I was going, "What the hell is wrong?" And I automatically thought there was something wrong with the vehicle, what I was driving. So I pulled into the side of the road. I got out, was walking around the van, going, "What's going on?" And the vehicle pulled in behind me, and there were 2 couples in it, and they got out of the vehicle and they came up, and I was going, "No, there's nothing wrong with the vehicle. Why were you flashing me?" "Oh no, it was nothing to do with that." And I said, "What were you flashing me for?" And they said, we saw Aghyaran Distillery and we couldn't believe it. So we had to stop you and ask you, is it true? And I was going, yes, it's true. I can't remember who they were now, but they were returning from abroad. Some of them were from Aghyaran.
Yeah.
And they had their partners with them, and they were going, this is ridiculous. On the M1 in Belfast, we see a van with Aghyaran Distillery. And they
Never thought they'd see
Yeah,
it.
never thought they did. But they almost gave me a heart attack on the M1 coming down the road. You know?
You got a flat tire. What's going on here? What's wrong with it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, let me take you back to the choosing of the name, though, which stands out. Obviously, because we're so close to the Wild Atlantic Way, but tell us about the name origins.
One of the most important things when we're doing our gin, we get our seaweeds from the Talty family in County Clare, wild Irish seaweeds.
There's two seaweeds in our
Two
core
seaweeds
gin.
in our core gin, sugar kelp and dilsk. And the Talty family have been hand harvesting for well over 100 years. Multi-generational. They're on the beach every day hand harvesting. Great little business, family-run business that's been going. And that was one of the main reasons that it was, fantastic story, great family business. I'm originally from County Clare.
Yeah.
Brian's from Plymouth, the water, the ocean.
So there's a maritime theme.
Maritime
Yeah.
theme
And
of it
so
as well.
everything was going to have
Connection.
a connection.
Connection.
So when we started talking about the brand, the origins of the brand,
Yeah.
ultimately it was going to be a maritime theme
Theme to
throughout
it.
everything we
Yeah.
did. Interestingly enough, I think they obviously read our minds. There was some fortuitous advertising campaign out there called
Yeah.
the Wild Atlantic Way.
Way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
On my days.
Pure chance.
So
Pure
coincidence.
chance.
Pure
Oh my
chance.
goodness.
And we thought, well,
Yeah.
let's look up the trademark. And nobody had it.
No.
And so we locked in the trademark, and lo and behold, we became the Wild Atlantic Distillery from Aghyaran.
And you know that when you come to the crossroads and you don't go right, and the amount of complaints I get from don't go right about the name and
Yeah.
being in County Tyrone is shocking.
Oh, really?
Oh, unbelievable.
Oh,
Like, so I always tell people, there's a couple of things I tell people. I tell them, particularly if they're getting really irate, and they're bouncing in front of the stand and you're trying to talk to them and they're just furious that you've got the name. How dare you? And I'm explaining, the nerve. And I'm explaining to them that, well, I might be, 30 minutes from the ocean. It's my ocean too.
Yeah.
You don't have exclusivity to it in that region as well. And then I just said to them, listen, St. Patrick always promised that 7 years before the end of the world, that Donegal will go into the ocean. We'll then be prime real estate on the Wild Atlantic Way. And then they bounced even higher.
God bless global warming.
Is he trying to calm them down?
I know, right?
But now
brilliant.
I don't even know what to say anymore when people say that to me.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the grand scheme of things is the island of Ireland is an island. It's
Yeah,
surrounded by
exactly.
the Atlantic
yeah.
Ocean.
Yeah.
And it's convenient.
Yeah.
That people say, well, the Wild Atlantic Way is ours. Well, we're not
Well,
called
no.
we're not called the Wild Atlantic Way Distillery. We're called the Wild Atlantic Distillery.
Yes.
And I think as the years have gone on, this is all on the early years.
Yeah.
We rarely get comments these
Yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It's your name now.
now it's
Yeah.
a case of, you're the Wild
Yeah.
Atlantic Distillery guys.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I love your products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we hear more, and that's
Yeah.
what you want
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've released our whiskies we were saying, and it's under the Island Men. It's Wild Atlantic Distillery Island Men Irish whiskey. The Island Men, I'm from Ireland, Brian's from England,
Yeah.
so both islands.
Yes.
So we are the Island Men, and it's part of our history and our heritage
Yeah.
and our story and what we're about. So
Yeah, and we couldn't due to some trademark infringements, and we're talking globally here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're creating a global brand. So you wouldn't believe how much time I spend talking to IP lawyers trying to get a
name.
locked in
Approved.
for, think about it, US,
Yeah.
Canada, South America, you name it, India, Japan,
Asia.
China.
Yeah.
And the amount of resource piled into that.
Yeah.
So there was a trademark infringement on Wild Atlantic in one of those regions. So it was a case, we tried a little bit of legal pressure, that didn't work. So it was a case of, we need a new name for our whiskey.
Yeah.
And our white spirits outside of Europe. We have the European trademarks locked in. And you wouldn't believe how long it takes to come up with a name for
And
something.
the amount of names we ran through, we had so many, didn't we?
We deal with an IP attorney called David. He's a very patient man with me anyway. Because I'd say, Dave, what about this? And you go, no, you can't have that in this country. Okay. A few days later, what about that one? No, that won't work in that country. And that won't work in this country. You're like, oh my
Such
days.
time consuming.
Oh, I must have
Yeah.
read in encyclopedias on Celtic mythology, looking for names.
Yeah,
and all
it's so
kinds of
tricky,
stuff,
and
trying to figure something. But
we found a name that worked from a connection point of view with us.
Yeah.
Like, because we are the two men who do this
Behind the scenes.
behind the scenes, and I said, I'm English. It's an island. Ireland is an island.
Yeah.
We're the Island Men. It kind of worked really well. We did a deep dive on what an islander is. Okay.
Okay.
And
Aghyaran came up.
Aghyaran. You won't believe this.
An island in Tyrone.
Seriously?
I mean, the amount of study that went into it. And essentially-
Stubborn. Obstinate.
core values.
I was going, bloody hell, that could half the community could be described as Island Men.
And it's like, we've got this, it's an island mentality, an Aghyaran mentality. We do things slightly differently. And,
Yeah.
to hell with the consequences, we're going to go and do this.
Yeah.
But that will translate anywhere you go. You could be New Zealand, Australia,
Hong Kong,
Nantucket, Hong
anywhere.
Kong. Island people identify with a different way of doing things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're doing. And we're just, we're pushing the Aghyaran name out into the world.
Yeah.
And very, very, very quickly, because we're in Europe now.
Yeah.
We'll be in the US by September.
Wow.
Canada by
Canada,
the end of the
hopefully,
year. We're already in Germany and Austria. So, yeah, we
So
are.
like your past experiences, like the amount of traveling you just did
Yeah.
across the world and working,
Yeah.
Oh,
has like
100%,
paid
yeah.
dividends.
Well, it's connections,
Yeah.
ultimately.
It's networking.
It's networking.
It's you
You
meet
were networking
people.
before you knew you were networking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you meet people at shows. You go to Pro Wine in Dusseldorf, which is the international show. You meet people from all over the world. But it's that connection you make with people, because people make the connection with you. They make a connection with your story and your history and where you're from, and then they believe in your product. And the ultimate then is the taste test.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that if I can get you to taste the product, you're going to buy the product.
Yeah.
That's the way we are with 99.9% of our business with customers. I just need you to say, yes, I can come in and let you taste the product. And once you
You
taste
just
it,
knew
I've got
whenever
you.
you spent that year creating that gin, first of all, the taste was
We're
was getting better. And
Brian is the distiller in there, but we're very particular about the product and the quality and everything that we do. Are all award winning. All the
Yeah,
products.
let's talk about all the awards you've won so far.
and so quickly as well.
I know, because
Well, you say quickly. It's taken 5 years.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
years, though.
Even with the bit of COVID.
Yeah.
My
Like-
favourite story.
Go.
For our first
us.
award. So when we were launching the first gin, our Wild Atlantic Irish gin, we had a tasting panel back then. Okay, I distilled and put out 4 or 5 different variants of the same recipe, just marginally different,
Tweaked, yeah.
tweaked. And I knew I had my favourite, but it's all blind testing.
Yeah.
No,
So-
the tasting family was family and friends,
Oh, it's family
guys. I
and
wouldn't get too excited.
Was Irene Byrne involved?
No, it wasn't. So we put these out, and I had mine, but they all chose
Like different one.
a different one, and they ignored mine. And I thought, okay, well, kind of wrong, but okay, we'll go with the majority.
Yeah.
And that's the one we launched first.
It was a very good gin.
It was very good. Very good. It wasn't just mine. And we put it into the World Gin Awards. Okay, didn't place. Okay, I got very grumpy. So then it was a case of, all right, everybody's wrong. I'm putting this sucker in. My recipe from the very beginning. There's the one I wanted to push,
Yeah.
and that won gold and Northern Ireland's best contemporary gin at the World Gin Awards.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
and
then the marketing panel was fired.
Yeah.
shortlisted for best in the world. But
Iron tasters.
we currently have probably our best seller is our Wild Strawberry and Elderflower gin, and that's double gold at the World Gin Awards.
2 years running.
2 years running.
Double
Ireland's
gold.
best flavoured gin for 24 and 25.
Wow.
Really, really good quality gin. Our Amalfi Lemon is personally our second to none. Silver at the London Spirit Awards 2025. It won silver at the World Vodka Awards, and our core vodka, premium vodka, won silver at the World Vodka Awards as well. And going on with the
World Vodka Awards.
World Vodka Awards.
Wow.
So essentially,
So not just local.
no,
local.
this is
world.
86 countries.
This is amazing.
Different venues every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in London last January. We
Yeah.
did our first double gold for the
Wild
pink
Strawberry,
gin.
yeah.
And the funny thing about that pink gin is I didn't want to make one.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know?
I don't like pink gin.
Okay.
And the distributor was pushing hard for us to get a pink gin.
Yeah.
And problem with the normal pink gin you get, I won't name brands, but they tend to be sweet, artificial, and pretty sickly.
And the liqueur, they tend to be 20-25%.
Yeah.
They're not particularly nice.
Yeah.
So, I ignored them for years, to the point where now I regret ignoring them. And it was a case, okay, well, if we're going to do it, then it's got to be, it's almost, everything we do has a natural component.
Yeah.
First gin, seaweeds are in there.
Yeah.
The Amalfi lemon vodka, we actually use lemon
Amalfi
from the
lemon.
Amalfi
Oh,
coast.
wow.
And we'll get onto that one in a minute. But
Yeah.
the strawberry one, this is dead easy. We'll take our award-winning gin and we'll put it in a bath of strawberry and elderflowers, fresh strawberries, and we leave it for a week. We then filter it and bottle it, and that's it. There's nothing magical about
Yeah.
the Wild Atlantic
It's
strawberry
just
gin.
it's your gin with natural flavours.
Quality gin.
flavours.
And the ABV goes from 43 to 40% just
Yeah.
naturally because of that process.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Over the
And it's a
over
gorgeous
5
gin,
days.
and I love pink gin.
Yeah.
As long as it's mine. But the funny thing about the Amalfi lemon vodka, I'll make it short. So essentially, Marie, my wife, she loves, shouldn't say love, but basically she likes or liked Grey Goose citron. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
and she comes into a distillery one day and she's like, lads, with all this gear, with all this stuff, surely you can make me something as good as that. And I'm like, okay.
She set you a challenge.
Set me a challenge, but it was like, hang on a second, if I'm going to make something, it'll be better than that.
Yeah.
And it's goes, okay, citron, then there's only one lemon on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the Amalfi lemon. They are beautiful. Absolutely the most sweet lemon. And the peel is amazing. And essentially, we get them in, we peel them, hand peel them. We don't do it anymore, but our boys do it now.
Yeah.
And literally, we drip cold alcohol on them for a period of like 10 hours. And that extracts all the oils and the flavours from these lemons. Peels go in yellow and they come out white after 10 hours. We've got all that goodness. And then we then turn that extract into an essence and then we blend it with our own vodka.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So
And
we
one
opened
of
that
my
then.
favourite stories is when we use a sommelier called Jeanette. She used to live here. She's now got a great restaurant down in Derry. And she's a mixologist. Works at really top-end hotels in London.
The Dirty Souls, if anyone's
Dirty
wondering.
Souls.
yeah.
Great food.
Yeah.
And she comes into the distillery. She knows I'm doing a new product. And back then I was asking certain people to just try it. And I popped it out on the table. I hadn't told her what I was creating. And all she did, she picked up the glass and she smelled it, smiled and put the glass down. And she says, "You don't know this about me, but I honeymooned on the Amalfi Coast." That just took me right back there. And you're
Unbelievable.
like, wow, that'll do. Sold. And now we have multiple silvers for it. I think it's worth a gold. I'm going to keep pushing until I get the gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a gorgeous sort of spirit.
Yeah, but the important thing is to keep growing. So we do have plans. We've signed on a 6-acre site now, 20 minutes from our current distillery, to build a new state-of-the-art distillery that will produce 200,000 to 400,000 litres of Irish whiskey.
You're moving it back.
Well, hang on.
No, we kept it in the region.
We kept it in the region, and there'll be a big sign on the side of it with Aghyaran written underneath it.
Okay.
Because our logo has got it on it.
Yeah.
And that'll be on the side of the building.
Yeah.
Because the Atlantic coast will move further in.
We couldn't find a 6-acre site sadly in this area, but so that'll be visitor centre,
No, but when you're thinking
cafe.
globally, it has to happen. Like expansion has to happen.
Absolutely.
We've
yeah.
maximised the current facility. We just got another still in, so that's now 3 big stills we have in there. And
We've doubled our production in there now.
we can't. I don't have any more flat land.
Yeah.
Every time Marie went out, come back and I built a shed on a piece of flat land.
Yeah.
So she's like, right lads, you got 5 years, then you're out.
She didn't do it for nothing. It bloody cost us every time. She always got something in return for it.
Well, we built her a lot.
But I've told her when we're moving, when we move the distillery and take everything out, I'm taking everything. So she'll get her lawn back and everything will disappear. She's not happy, but
Good luck with
she'll get used to it.
She like the Amalfi lemon vodka.
Exactly that she demanded.
You've got no chance of that.
No. So that's the plan. By 2028, we hope to be open.
Whereabouts is this expansion?
On the A5.
And the A5 between Victoria Bridge and Newton Stewart.
Oh wow, yeah.
It'll be
Actually, great location too for travelling.
and depending on this podcast goes out, it would have been announced and been in the press by then.
Yeah.
So we had a big launch event back in March.
Yeah.
For the whiskey, and we
Up
also
in Guildhall, that went quite well. I mean, where we are currently, we had that bus up and they're reversing back up the driveway. You just can't. And there are bus drivers out there that refuse to take their buses.
Yeah.
on Trinamungan Road.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
the worst road ever.
So, you know, to kind of grow and expand. And it's not just that, it's the demand
Yeah.
that we're developing for our products now. As we grow, we need the capacity. We need to be able to grow with that. And with that will come jobs. So the plan is to create 30 jobs from the day we open
Brilliant.
in the region.
We're a team of 5 now. So
We're a team of 5
Team of
now, but
5.
we
Yeah.
want to get to at least 30 people by the time we open that distillery. And then, you know, depending then on tourism and everything else, there's a
Yeah.
chance to create more jobs. So that's the goal where we want to get to.
That's fantastic.
Isn't
Like,
it just?
yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great 5 years.
yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
And even you found yourselves now usually projected into like Tesco and different stores like that. Was that easy to get into, or the hand sanitizer? No.
Three years with Tesco. Remember meeting the head buyer 3 years ago up at Balmoral.
Yeah.
And they were aware of us and they liked our products and everything else. But like a lot of these, they need to make sure that you're going to survive.
Yeah.
So they just say to us, listen, we love what you're doing, we like what you're doing, we're watching. But that watching took 3 years. So
Yeah.
all these, I remember ringing James and Mary from Ardra Distillery. Everybody in the business, we all know each other. And
Yeah.
Joe from the boatyard in County Fermanagh, we'd all know each other. I remember ringing James up one day from Ardra Distillery, and I said, James, I'm talking to a retailer and a large group about this, and it's 9 months now, and they're very positive, and they were very positive from the first day. And it's 9 months.
What's the story?
What's the story? Because he's been there and done it, and he says to me, I said, Jim, it's normally 18 months to 24 months minimum. And I kind of sat back and went, okay, all right, at least it's not me.
Yeah.
When he's from Aghyaran, it's a different time zone there. Right?
Somebody turned right there for a
All
second.
right, it's gone into that unknown land, yeah.
I'm actually going there on Saturday. There's a
Yeah.
friend of mine who works for me, Joe Doherty. They own Doherty's Barn. Aghyaran.
Yeah.
So he was like, if you're coming down early, and we always have a session there at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And he says, if you're coming down early this year, we'll go to the distillery. And
Yeah.
because I was telling him about you guys were coming.
Yeah.
on.
Well, if James and Mary are there, say hello, because James he was head of the Whisky Association of Ireland for a year, last year, the year before, and he's always been a great help. You could always pick up the phone and have a conversation with James. Joe's been the same, and we help each other out. Joe rang us one day looking for juniper berries that hadn't arrived at his place for his gin.
Yeah.
So we shipped the load down, or he sent some guys up and we shipped it down. So we're all in the business.
Yeah.
We all know each other. We all talk to each other,
It's not like you're competing with each other, or that you wouldn't.
We're still competing, but
Yeah.
there's it's a big marketplace out
Suppose
there.
a
It's a big
mutual
world out
respect,
there,
yeah,
like
for-
But it's a very Aghyaran thing to help out your neighbour in a way.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's
Even if they are in Donegal.
well, we don't say Donegal, we say turn right.
And so just curiosity really, was there any point where you were gonna throw the whole thing in and just
COVID.
yeah.
That was the only time really. That kind of threw us for a few months. Because literally, if you think about all the effort and stress of building a distillery, getting the doors open, we were on such a high, and then you're shut down. You can't. We had a gin school back then as well. That had to close.
It was just starting to be
tours.
successful too.
Yeah, it was just starting to become successful. So everything's shut. So for that moment, you're like, uh-oh, what have we done? We've literally built a distillery which we can't operate. So that was a head scratcher for a short period of time, but within a short period of time we pivoted.
Yeah.
So that's the only time. I mean, ultimately, running any business has its stresses.
Yeah.
And, on occasion, we might have an occasional word with each other. But other than that, you run with the stress of owning and operating your own business. But the key thing is, as I keep trying to tell Jim, 5 o'clock, switch off.
Yeah.
And
Very important actually to have that outside
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
work,
and
isn't it?
I'm very good at turning my phone off
Yeah.
and just chucking it in a corner. And I don't see it from Friday night till Monday morning. Just ignore the thing. I came off social media because I can be quite grumpy. Especially if somebody dares say something negative about distillates.
Yeah.
And and some of the stuff.
We don't send Brian out of the distillery. I tend to come out of the distillery. I do all it's
You do all the PR.
because
I retired from shows
Right.
now.
when you guys invited us along here, I was going, are you sure you want to come along, Brian? Are you
That's
sure?
not true. I'm really nice.
Yeah.
The only time I get grumpy is when somebody who hasn't tasted it,
Yeah.
Yes.
nothing about it,
Yeah.
Has an opinion.
has an opinion. Like, well,
Yeah.
hang on. fine, you're entitled to it, but don't badmouth something you know nothing about.
Yeah.
When you bring your first release out, it's an expensive release. It's the only chance for a distillery, and every distillery does it, where they charge a premium price that will never be the same again. And it wasn't cheap, our first release, but it's an opportunity for the distillery, for collectors to buy a bottle that is a collector's item, and for the distillery to make a little bit of money back of what our investment was and what we've put out there. And that investment allows us then to continue producing whiskey and stuff like that. So we got a few comments about the price and stuff like that, which I have no problem with that. You're entitled to your comment about that. But when they tag the price with, as Brian was saying,
The liquid.
then I have a problem, because these bottles, nobody got the sample.
Yeah.
They were collector's items.
Yeah.
You bought it. It was sent to you. Anybody out there who didn't have a bottle couldn't have tasted it.
Yeah.
And had no right to say what they said. But you want to complain about the price?
All day long.
All day long, we've no issue with that.
But that's the problem. I guess some of the problems with social media.
media.
It's the keyboard warriors
Yeah.
that are
Keyboard
there.
warriors.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they group themselves together.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the wrath of multiples because they're all in a group.
Yeah.
So I just found it easy. You know what? I don't listen to this.
Yeah.
Delete the lot.
Turn off the vote.
Exactly. And somebody else does marketing, somebody else does social media. On occasion, you'll say, "Do you want to read this?" I'm like, "No."
Do you need to know that information in order for you to keep going?
But it works well. Like Brian's engineer, he works in the distillery, and then I, because of my years and years in hospitality and working with people and dealing with people.
So that's your...
So,
we kind of split roles now.
Yeah.
We both do commercial. We're both out and about, obviously, doing the key sort of events. I do go to Pro Wine. I would have been at Balmoral this year, but I was away on our
25th.
25th wedding anniversary.
That's what I did say to him. I said, "You bloody knew 25 years ago, mate.
Yeah, I did.
Balmoral was coming up." And we didn't start the distillery for 20 years later, but you knew.
Yeah. And
All planned.
Yeah, all planned.
And what was even worse is our head salesman, Alan, who's really great. His wife had booked him last year.
Before he joined the company.
Before he joined the company.
Yeah.
His 50th birthday present at
For Balmoral.
So he wasn't there either.
So the two boys were away, and I was stuck with Balmoral. Now I had a great help. Brian's sons were there, and my daughters were there. There was loads of people around. My wife Lucia was there. Everybody pitched in. It was, we got through the show and everything else, but it's a tough 4 days.
Tough work,
It's tough
Tough
show.
4 days.
But-
But they've been
Good
told
show.
next year.
Yeah, but the Balmoral show, like obviously things like that there, they bring such a wide variety
this
of
is-
people to your door, really,
Yeah,
don't
but
they?
as I was saying earlier, when you're out and you're doing the tastings with the public and people are sampling your product, the feedback we get is so positive.
Yeah.
That no matter what one idiot is saying on social media, when you're actually in front of people and they're just raving on about it and how much they love it, and you're selling the product and they're actually buying it, then that is amazing. So as Brian was saying, I was split roles. I tend to do invest in I, tourism in I, raising investment, heading to Germany. Though Brian, I think, he likes China, so he's picked China for himself. So,
And Spain.
Yes, and Spain.
Yeah.
So the rest of the world is mine, basically. So Brian,
Japan's mine.
So anyway, I tend to do all of that side of it and stuff like that. So listen, things are going well. We, as Brian was saying, we've put product. Our whiskey went into Germany there about just 3-4 weeks ago now, and it's going down really, really well.
Right.
Austria and Switzerland are coming up now. We're working on the Netherlands and the Benelux countries now as well. I'll be in America after Labor Day in September, and then I'll be in Canada for 2 weeks as well at the end of September and beginning of October as well. So all these marketplaces now are opening up for us as well. And even with the tariffs and all that's going on, there's still a marketplace in America for Irish whiskey. America would have been our number one spot, because it is for most Irish whiskies, because it's where the most is sold. And we'll still go into America, but we're now looking at a lot more outside of that scope. America would have been your number one. Get into America, get started, and then expand. Now we're expanding everywhere else,
And then
we're
going
going
into
back into
America.
America as well. But it's kind of refocused us on where we're going. So we make a good team that way, and you need that. It's hard to run a business if you're one person. You always need things to bounce things off each other.
But obviously your passion comes through, and as you already said, like, you're a people person from hospitality sector has kind of built you towards that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Years in America, having a bar in America, and America's all about people networking.
Yeah.
And it's just the way that's built, and you have to be able. If you can't do that, you're never going to have a bar in America. You have to be able to talk.
And
to people.
whenever you've put in the hard graft that you guys have done, you're the best people to sell this.
Oh, 100%.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's anybody else that has to
Nobody
be
can
you
tell the
guys.
story
Yeah.
like we do because we've lived
It's
it.
your blood,
Yeah.
sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
It is.
100%.
It's funny, we get rave reviews on the tour because we tend to split the way we do it, and it's you do your part of the tour, I do the other part of the tour, and we bounce off each other really, really well, and it's quite funny. And it's depending on the mood of the people, will depend how we handle the tour.
But it was funny because you kind of don't realise sometimes, but I remember getting a phone call and a guy rang me and he said, listen, I'm not far away, I'm interested in coming to the distillery. I happen to be in the distillery because if Brian was on his own, he'd say, no mate, don't come in. All right, Brian? But anyway, but I said to him, yeah, come on in. So he came in and he had his parents with him and everything else, and he turned out to be from Colombia.
Oh,
and he had a bar and restaurant in Colombia.
Oh.
So he was visiting Ireland to look at distilleries. So he'd been at Bushmills. He was heading down to Middleton and all these places. And he said, I was coming down after Bushmills and I just happened to look on Google, and up on Google Tours came up Wild Atlantic Distillery. And he said, I started looking at all the different distilleries. And he said, did you realise that you're the only 5-star distillery tour of all the distilleries?
Oh.
And I said, no, I wasn't. And I genuinely
You didn't
wasn't
even
aware.
know that?
Wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm intrigued. He said, do you mind if I... And that's why he wanted to come and see, because he knew we were, a family distillery. We're nothing to Bushmills and Middleton, in any way, shape or form. But he was intrigued and he came in and he did the tour and he saw what we did. And so I said to him at the end, well, what do you think? He said, 100% 5-star. But he said, more importantly, I was thinking that I was going to have to spend 10, 15, 20 million to build a distillery, and watching you guys and seeing what you did and looking at the little still.
Yeah.
He said, I have a bar restaurant, I've got a little building alongside it, I'm going to put a small still in there and I'm going to start small.
Yeah.
He said, so I'm not even going down to Middleton now. He says, I'm going on the rest of my holiday and I'm going home to start the distillery. And I was going...
So you've inspired him to start his own,
It was, because there was before we started, there was we went to see people about building a distillery. I won't say who or where, but it was Turn Right. And we were told, come back when we've 68 million quid
Oh my goodness.
to start, and we came out of that.
Disheartened,
I came
I'm
back
sure,
and
Yeah.
Well, actually, we were a bit we actually thought we knew better and said they're talking nonsense.
yeah, exactly. We kind of thought that's ridiculous, and we came back and we did it, with that initial investment and got it off the ground and everything else. But you didn't need to have that. Once upon a time, that was this understanding, that was the myth, that if you were going to start this, you had to have substantial. We had funds behind us that we invested ourselves, and we raised capital as well, investors and stuff like that, but not in any way, shape or form to that kind of scale to get it off the ground. And then it's just perseverance and growing year by year.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
And getting new ideas.
Hence the expansion.
And just for anyone who's listening there, how often do you do your tours, and where would they get that information out from? Or
On our website, we do tours generally now on a Friday.
every week?
Every week.
Every week. So all you have to do is go onto our website, book. Sometimes you'll find that it's sold out. So bookings are done, or we had a group coming in there. On occasion, for a large group, we'll do a day during the week, but that's by appointment and by booking.
Yeah.
You wouldn't book that on the website, you'd contact us. It was for a large group, you get in touch with us, and then we look at our schedule. Most important thing for us has always been about production, so we can do a tour without interrupting
The production
the
of
production
it,
and stuff like
You
that.
did cocktail making classes I've
Yeah.
seen there as well.
We do have that, but we haven't sort of opened them up for a good while because it gets in the way of production.
Yeah.
So we kind of changed it this last month, where we do a normal distillery tour.
Yeah.
I say normal, it's exceptional.
Yeah.
5 stars.
5 stars.
And you get to taste all the spirits and everything else. Yeah.
So we do a distillery tour, and then we do a specialist whiskey tasting tour,
Oh.
which is an hour after the main distillery tour. And those lucky few get to actually taste our first liquid.
We keep a little bit of that back, just
A
on that
little
kind
bit
of
of
thing.
that back, so they get to understand the entire distillation process, from creating your fermentations, how you distill, how the distills work, how casking works, maturation. So it's a bit more leaning towards specialist whiskey versus the distillery tour is wide open. And
Yeah.
we talk about gins and vodkas and all
You
that.
can have a
sort
great
of stuff.
hen party, or just
Yeah.
any
We've
kind of
done-
party.
We've done hen parties.
We've done hen
Have you?
parties,
Yeah.
and ironically, we've people get in touch with us and said, listen, my best friend, she's getting married, and she's an engineer, and she's mad about distilleries.
Right.
And she brings the whole gang in, but they're all getting a drink, they're all getting a cocktail,
Yeah.
they're loving it, they're listening to the history story, they're having a bit of crack, and the girl that's getting married is in her element because she's into all the equipment and all the techie stuff. All her friends are at the bar, so
I mean, imagine an ale plate stuck onto one of your barrels.
You know, no.
But I can't stop thinking actually that somewhere in Colombia there's like an Aghyaran themed.
Yeah. No. And their natural crop out there is corn, so it'll be corn whiskey he'll be doing, which will be Colombian.
Corn whiskey.
And it's there's plenty of corn whiskies out there
right,
in the States and stuff like that, believe it or not. Yeah. He'll be the first whiskey in Colombia.
Oh.
So it's really, really, really
What a story.
interesting, like, you know.
You meet some very interesting.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
Unbelievable people.
It is
yeah.
fascinating. And we enjoy it too.
Yeah. No, when you know, we are, obviously for us, you know, so we sometimes say to each other, you know, this must be getting boring for people because we're saying the same thing. We're talking the history and story and everything else,
But
just like we're
people are
talking to
new.
them. People who've never heard it before, to them
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
And then people say to us, "Oh, that was brilliant," and we look at each other, you know, yeah, maybe, okay, all right, because we've been saying this for so long now.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. And we've been told or we've been requested that, and they all say it. They say, look, because they all know we're planning the largest distillery,
Yeah.
and they're saying, look, don't change your tours.
Yeah.
You've got to make it as personal
Yeah.
as it is now, because you are, as myself and Jim, we are the soul of the business, and that's why we're really passionate about it. You
Yeah.
know, and we can talk for hours,
Hours about it.
Yeah.
distillation and whiskey and
Yeah.
how it all sort of comes about, and Aghyaran, and why it's here, and where we met, and who we're married to, and it's a long conversation.
Though our wives do say to us, "No, I don't want to hear about it."
No, exactly.
That's what I always say too, like in pharmacy, you know, every pharmacy is the same, you walk
Yeah.
into it, but it's the people behind that you talk to that
Yeah.
make it the different and
Yeah.
for the reason for them to walk
Yeah.
in through that door. Like, you
100%.
know,
It's that personal
person
connection and that
personal connection.
that thing. And
Yeah.
you know, my years in hospitality was always the team.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a good team, whatever bar, restaurant you're managing or working in or owning or whatever, you have a good team. It's a pleasure going into work.
Yeah.
It's when you've got a bad team that it's a nightmare.
chore.
It's a chore. You dread going in. You hate it. But that's, I guess, in any job, even an
Yeah.
office job and stuff. And we've all done office
Yeah.
jobs and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
going to an office job and you got, you know, something's not right in the office and things aren't good, then it's
Yeah.
you dread going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
So you're not working.
I love going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as I drive in, I hit the gates open, I drive up and I'm like, okay, Jim, steel yourself. Another 8 hours with Brian. Okay, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Feeling.
It's funny when you say like the copper connection. Like whenever I read your names at the start when it was Ash and Nash, I thought you could have your own cop shows. Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. Well, that's we're used to slagging each other, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
No, but like your personalities have come to the fore, like, and you're doing a fantastic thing.
Well, thank you so
Aghyaran
much.
and for
For
yourselves.
Aghyaran and
yeah.
for yourselves, yeah, it's
Thank
brilliant.
you so much. Appreciate it.
Worldwide, Aghyaran, worldwide.
We get people coming into the distillery who are from here, but they're sending gifts abroad because it says Aghyaran on the bottle.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
And it is.
It's so true.
It's
like-
such a connection, you
Yeah.
know, and people are proud of the fact that it's from here,
Yeah.
which is great. And, you know, we've changed the labels over the years, never removed Aghyaran off that bottle. And
Oh, you would have uproar if you did.
Oh, I know.
You'd have been kicked out by now.
Hence when we moved, the big
just-
logo
they-
that
yeah.
remains slapped on the side of the building.
Yeah, we'll always have that at the heart and that distillery at the heart of what we're doing next. You know, because without it, there's nowhere.
This
to
is
go.
where it was born.
And you know the ironic thing about it, even when you turn right, they've heard of Aghyaran football. You know, they may not like it, but they've heard of it. So the name was there before we even arrived. You know, they're well aware of it. So.
Ah, definitely. Like, when
Yeah.
we've done so many podcasts going back to the history of that,
Yeah.
even the club originating, like, so great characters of an Aghyaran.
I think that should be your nickname. Turn right.
Right.
I'd never heard it before till tonight. But it's very good.
That's always like that's a true story. Like always that people struggle to say Aghyaran. So I would just start telling them the story, and then the wardrobe come in, and then I was like, oh no, turn left, don't turn left.
It's very good.
Once you cross that border, there's no coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely not. So, what would your happiest memories be?
I would say for me personally, my happiest memory of Aghyaran, they got married in Aghyaran Chapel.
Oh, yeah.
With all, obviously my parents were still alive then, so they were there. My family was there. The sun shone. Canadians were in.
That's right.
The burn cloud
Really?
is
Sunshine?
huge,
Yeah.
and it was May. Do you not find in May?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It's usually quite
nice,
sunny,
yeah.
so that is definitely one of my happiest memories.
Was that fella McGinn, maybe, was it? Or McGarrigle?
It was Richard Scriven. He was a friend, as a friend,
Right.
as a friend of the family. And it's a complex sort of thing because obviously Marie's Catholic, I'm an atheist.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, so I was getting married in a chapel, and Richard knew me, and we have a very good rapport. He's actually a really good friend. And I've always said to Marie, if I was to die tomorrow, I'd get Richard to bury me. And so
he almost choked when I put a holy medal into the ground of the foundations and still and blessed it with holy water. He was almost going, I mean, I thought I was dealing with a vampire. He almost sizzled.
I remember one of Marie's cousins, Barney Joe. Well, first what I remember was the number of priests at our wedding.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean, the Byrne clan knows every priest out there. I think we had 4. And I was like, I only need 1.
No, but God rest him, Alec needed all those priests.
And that's one of my fondest memories.
Yeah. I mean, we got married in '95, and it was that great summer of '95. You're probably too young to remember, but '95 was one of those summers where
I think
What, 14?
GCSE.
yeah, the whole summer was magnificent. It was an amazing summer. And Lucy and I had been living in London, came home to get married, and we were going to go abroad, but the weather was so good that we just travelled the west coast, Inishbofin and down the islands into Dingle, and it was
Brilliant.
best 2 weeks, unbelievable weather and everything else. At Father McGinn,
Yeah.
you know, God rest him now, and his fabulous dog.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Whose name I forget
Boko?
now. Yeah, brilliant dog. He was the priest at the wedding, and then of course, you know, my girls were born in Ireland, so having the girls here, you know, born in Aghyaran and then bringing them back into Aghyaran.
Yeah.
2 teenage girls now, so they've kind of always grown up
Yeah.
close to this in the country and everything else.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have grown up in the cities or like London or America or anything like that. They wouldn't have seen any of that. They've heard all the stories and all the stuff that goes on. Great memories of Granny and Grandad.
Yes.
And my Granny and Grandad, God rest my mum and dad, are passed away now, but they have great memories of all that. And I think that was one of the reasons we came home and back into that community, was to have that connection again, and for our girls to understand family and that connection, how important it was.
That's the same reason, I guess, we moved from Spain.
Yeah, exactly.
In 07. Obviously married in 2000, never thought I'd live here.
Yeah.
In 07, we both independently came to the same. Obviously, I would imagine Marie was thinking about it for years.
Yeah.
And then I love it here so much. It's fantastic. And it was actually my decision. I remember getting off the plane. We'd been here for Christmas. And I remember getting off the plane and saying to Marie, does this place feel like home anymore? And we made that decision on the drive from the airport home that we were leaving that year. And that's one of the key things. We had 3 kids. All my kids were born in Spain. But they didn't have grandparents. They didn't have family.
Yeah.
And it was a case of, right, we need to let them have that because unfortunately there's only one left now. They're all gone.
Yeah.
And but they've got all the memories, they've got all the pictures, they know where their roots are, which is important. We don't regret it. Remember when, you know, middle of teenagers at school and all that sort of stuff, I'm sure the kids when they went to high school went to Omagh. And we thought for just a brief moment, shall we move to Omagh?
Yeah.
Just for the constant not having to be a taxi.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I'm feeling your pain.
You know God too well there.
I'm having the same thoughts.
so you know what we're talking about. And
absolutely.
ultimately, we looked out the window, you know, with those views out that way, and you're like, why would we move?
Yeah.
But thankfully, you know, time has marched on. My daughter's in England at uni, or just finished uni. My sons drive, they're fully independent, they're 19 now, you know, and we've got our lives back again.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And you can have a party every Friday.
Exactly.
You just have to hold out, Claire.
Hold out. It does come back. It does come back.
A few more years.
Few more years.
But that's amazing. Like, I think as you get older, you start to reflect and you start to realise that the people around you aren't there forever. And
That's what's important.
yeah, it's a great decision to come back and give your children those opportunities.
But we never got a choice. Well, I never got a choice about Claire. It was Aghyaran or nowhere.
And all the
I know what I
men-
will say about Aghyaran women. They make up their mind. That's bloody it.
That's a fair point, actually.
Yeah. With no.
I can get Plymouth.
So the closest I've got now is my daughters and I support Clare for the hurling and we support Tyrone for the football, and that's okay because they don't play hurling up here in Tyrone, or very little of it anyway. But I remember being on when I first came back and being up in the Aghyaran GA pitch. I took my young toddlers with hurleys and Slitter up onto the GA pitch, and we're playing hurling, and all the young lads looking at us and everything else. Now they'd seen hurling, they
Who's
knew what
them
hurling was.
foreigners?
Yeah, who's those foreigners from County Clare? But and it was 95. Funny, when I got married as well was the year that Clare made the great breakthrough, and finally Biddy Early's curse was broken, and she had cursed the Clare Clare team when they said that until all the members of the 1914 team had passed away,
Yeah.
Clare would never win an All-Ireland
Is
again.
this the same to all the Curse of the Mayo team?
No,
was
a
a
similar thing. And so in '95 then Clare so we got married that year. It was a fantastic summer, and Clare won the All-Ireland at hurling as well, and
That's why it was a good
it
summer.
was a cracking summer. It was a cracking
That's your
summer.
fondest
yeah.
memory.
It came close.
Close second. It was a close second.
But I always think of my summers in World Cups, 1990.
Yeah.
Especially those two because of Ireland. And
Yeah,
how well they
I
did
know.
back then. Like.
I know. Well, maybe we'll see something next year with a bit of luck.
I suppose we've kind of touched on this before. Was like, what would you find your greatest challenges? And I know you mentioned like we've been going through COVID and that, but I suppose it could be greatest challenge in your life.
I don't sort of rest on my laurels in that regard. I don't sort of have regrets.
Or dwell and things.
I don't
like that.
dwell.
No.
I'm very focused on where I am at the present and where I'm going. I don't think I've had any challenges that I couldn't overcome. Probably, and there's none that really stick in my head other than the big one. I mean, you get personal challenges with parents passing away.
Yeah.
But, your logical brain knows that will happen. That's a natural progression. So, I don't think, thankfully, today, I've not had a challenge I couldn't overcome. So, they're all positive stories in my view.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're talking about the pivot from
Yeah,
general
like,
whiskey to
that's a
hand
thing. Like,
sanitizer.
Yeah, I mean, that, and from a business point of view, but you get challenges like that in business all the time.
Yeah.
I suppose another challenge, a key one, we had it myself and, interesting enough, my other brother-in-law, Alec. We had a renewable energy business. It was based in Ballantor in Sligo. And there was, the big financial crash around about 2008.
Yeah.
That buried that business. And we had about 14 people, multiple vans on the road, and pretty much within a month or so, it was all gone. People stopped building, people stopped installing stuff. But that's a challenge.
Yeah.
But, you don't dwell on it, you move forward, you push ahead. So you're always going to get challenges in business. I think ultimately, as long as your family is strong and you've got health,
Yeah.
Your health is your wealth.
health is your wealth. So from that point of view, everything else can be overcome, as long as you're healthy.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that 100%.
What about you, Jim?
My dad passed away in 2005. He was 58, MS, which was,
Oh, God.
and I was abroad. And I guess that as well was one of the triggers to come home.
Yeah.
Because I had a bar and restaurant in Florida at the time. And I'd been away for a good few years, and then my dad used to ring me up and say, "Don't worry, I'll always be here. I'll always be here." And then you get the phone call Easter Sunday, 2005, and it's like he's gone, and that was really tough. And then I think that was a trigger for within a couple of years. I was home again. I was back, and then Aghyaran was born 2006, and then I always regret that Dad never saw Aghyaran or the children, Moya as well, 2009. And the only thing is, I've always kind of, Lucy and I always travelled. We always, all over the world, and we would do 5 years in the city, build great careers, and then look at each other and go, time to go. And just walk out the door and go travelling somewhere else and start all over again.
Yeah.
We did that for a good few years, and we loved every bit of it, and I have no regrets in that, because we've fabulous stories and fabulous memories and everything else. But I think the toughest, was the crash came in 2009, because I'd kind of come home after having a bar and restaurant, and then I was the kind of guy that people would hire to go into a hotel and manage a hotel. You may not remember, but in the boom times, all these builders built hotels, and then they would take guys like me, and we would run the place for them, because they wouldn't know about hospitality and stuff like that. And then the crash came, and all that kind of died down. So then it was trying to figure out, I'm 40 years of age, what am I going to do? Where do I go now? And it was back into university. It was University of Ulster, Magee, doing psychology, counselling and stuff like that, and I loved it. I wish I'd discovered that when I was 20.
Yeah.
Because I had a real passion for it. I loved it. And then the next 10 years was working, as I said, in that area, in that field, and I loved all of that work as well. But the last number of years now have been, I suppose, did I think that there was another chapter, that we were going to do something as mad as this? Probably not.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't on my
It's been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic thing. It has its ups and downs. But Brian and I are similar in the sense of, we just get on with it.
Yeah.
We'll always find a way. We'll figure out a way.
Keep moving forward.
We'll raise the capital. We'll make it work, and we just don't quit. And I think that's, because there were times we could have thought, do we really need this? But I'm glad we went through it now and did it, because we're building something now that we can be very proud of.
So you have a serious work ethic, really, don't you?
Yeah, but if you've travelled and worked abroad, and I recommend this to, like I've said to I've got my oldest daughter, Aveen, and she's up in Coleraine first year, and I've just said, I don't care what you do, but you're finishing your degree, and after that, if you want to go travel, you go travel. I think if you go into a city anywhere in the world and you have no choice but to work, to pay your rent, to put food on the table.
You tell my daughter that.
It teaches you
learn a lot.
an amazing work ethic because you've no choice. There's no safety net, there's no fallback, and it's great experience and culture and meeting people. And the Irish have always travelled. We've emigrated all over the world. That's why I like to see immigrants coming into the country now. I like to see people coming in because we've done it. For generations and generations, we've travelled, and we've gone into cities where sometimes you weren't welcome, but kept your head down, you worked at it, and you got done. You talk to people 50s and 60s, the older generation, and they'll tell you. I would
even say from like your dad and those days working in the bog, and hard work was instilled from such a young age.
100%.
Help out your neighbours. It's all part and parcel of it.
So coming back here and doing the distillery and stuff like that, hard work. For both of us, was never a question. It was just there. You just did it, because you always felt if you don't do it, nobody's doing it.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, when we look back now, remember when we started in the art shed and you were talking about the blinds and all that kind of stuff, but we didn't tell anybody.
No.
Yeah.
Because all we were saying to each other, we have to make this work first. Let's make it work first, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But
and Brendan Connolly found you out.
Brendan was brilliant. He's
Parents of I wasn't going to mention his name.
I have no problem mentioning.
There's no secrets. No secrets. But he's a real character and a good guy. And funny enough, both of us have similar kind of in different fields, but similar stories where different jobs, different careers, different places, moved, but it's all come together now in what we do now.
Yeah.
And it's actually all that experience and all that travel and all that
it's stacking up now.
It's all stacking up now and making it better and making this a success because of that.
All the roads led to the same destination, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes you fearless.
You
can lean back on your experience. And we've got between us a lot of experience. We can easily find a solution, and you can lean into your past. We have similar sort of work ethics.
And then great solutions on a Friday evening when you're just
the
whole world is solved. All the problems are solved. Yeah.
100%. I'll bring my guitar.
Well, what would be the best advice then you would tell your younger selves? Talk to young Brian, young Jim.
I think for me it would have been I would have spent a little bit more time figuring out what I wanted to do. I went straight into doing law and it wasn't for me, and then I spent 20 years doing hospitality, which I loved, but if I'd spent more time, I discovered something like psychology, working with people. I think you've plenty of time. There's no need to rush these, but once you decide, finish it. Don't start something. No, I don't mean it that way, but say you go in, sometimes the hardest thing in life is getting into a program or a course, but if you're passionate about it, it's the right thing for you. If you find that it's not for you, but you're a foot in the door, do finish out that year, get the best results you can, and then flip in the same place into something that you're passionate about. If you walk out of something halfway through it, there's no comeback. You have to start from scratch again.
Yeah, you never want to fully know until you got to the end.
Yeah, so you've got to, it's that perseverance and taking the time to figure out what you really want to do. And I think the most important thing is finding something that you have a passion for, because no matter how difficult whatever you're doing gets, if you've got the passion for it, then you'll get through it. We say that when I get up in the morning and I drive into the distillery, it's not like I'm going, oh Christ. You're going in, brilliant, here we go. Enjoyment. And if you can find that in anything, then you're off to, and travel, go and see the world, go experience things, go meet other people, other cultures. Enjoy every bit of that. Even if I've got friends at home and never left home, but would have gone 4 or 5 times a year and travelled the world, and probably have seen more of the world than I have. So travel to me is critical.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah. See as much as you
can. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Even if you love home, you stay at home, but travel.
Yeah.
Particularly when you're young, you've got no kids.
What about you, Brian? What advice would you give your younger self?
Don't change. It sounds a bit cocky actually, but
Back yourself in that gin tasting.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, I wouldn't make any changes in any decision. So if I was to meet my younger self, I would say,
keep going.
keep going. Every decision you've ever made has been the right one. You know, I'm always going to be an engineer. I remember I used to drive my parents insane. So they go out and I would, you know, turn the light switches the wrong way around, or I'd take a TV apart, or I would find an old radio in a bin, take it out the bin, figure out how to fix it. I didn't know what I was doing. But I could see something was broken and I could put it back together, and hey presto, it played music. So I'm talking from about 12 years old, you know, I could fix things. So from that point, you know, it's a case of, well, I know what I want. I want to be an engineer. And because I live near the coast, I want to be a marine engineer. So that has let me travel the world. Got trained, properly trained, marine electronics engineer, radio officer, and, you know, some of the things I've done, you know, from training ex-military sub-commanders on how to drive commercial submarines, on deep-sea diving.
It's crazy, like when you think of it, isn't it?
You know, being a sailing instructor.
Yeah.
I met somebody recently. I was on holiday last month, and myself and Marie met this couple, and I was, you know, Marie's a burn. So I happened to go to the bathroom, and we were just on our own. I came back and we've met our new best friends. So Marie heard an Irish voice, and I came back and my chair wasn't facing her anymore; it was facing this couple, and it was this lovely young couple, and they were on the honeymoon. They were just turned 30, and they reminded us of how we used to be.
Yeah.
And you know, fresh, out to see the world, and we were having this sort of conversation about life, the universe, and everything, you know. And you know, he was asking all these questions: what have you done? Where are you from? And all that sort of stuff. And we both sat back and went, "Geez, we've done a lot." Oh my days, you know. And you know, from, as I said, I remember working on fixing radars and oil rigs, doing search and rescue on a submarine, looking for a downed aircraft. You know, so don't change. Is ultimately, I look back and every decision has been the right one, and I had my path from 12 years old. And going back to what Jim just said a second ago, my boys asked me, you know, they want to do with this particular course or that particular course, and I answered it like this: try it. If you don't like it, you found something you don't like. Brilliant. Okay, move on to the next thing. You know, so, and that's all about moving forward and progression. I was lucky. I knew what I wanted from 12 years old. I'm hoping my daughter's work ethic is equally as important, because from 6 years old, she's wanted to be an actor, and she's never deviated.
Wow.
And she's now just graduated, hopefully with a first, an acting degree in Plymouth.
Oh, wow.
So
What's your daughter called? Sorry.
Lauren. And
Watch out for Lauren then.
Watch out for Lauren. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing journey.
Yeah.
Everything you just summed up there in the last couple of minutes. It's unreal to think, and how it's all led to Aghyaran and distillery. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
What a journey.
Yeah.
What an absolute journey.
So then.
Not over.
No, I know. It's an ongoing journey.
So loads to do yet.
Yeah.
The great John Teeling of Teeling Distillery and the Great Northern Distillery is close to 90 now, and he's still working every day in this distillery.
Oh, no way.
So you know, we've a long way to go yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So who would you class as being the greatest influence in your life then, growing up?
Oh, growing up, it was always mum and dad. Dad was in the army, the Irish Army. Served abroad with the UN in Cyprus, Lebanon, 2 tours. Again, a work ethic, you know. Ironically, he was mad about cars. It's funny, Lucia said that to me. Well, I have no interest in cars. None at all, which shocks Lucia. She said, if I'd known that, I would never have married you. But my dad was car mad and washed the car 5 times a week and all that kind of stuff. But I guess it was always my dad, because they were a young couple when they got married. And
What was your mum and dad called?
Jim Nash and Rita Nash. God rest them now. They, you know, young couple, worked hard. You know, every time my dad went abroad, we moved to a house, new house. They used to get a great bonus every time you served abroad. We'd the UN and all that kind of stuff. You know, he was a great hurler, telling me stories of, you know, when 6 Mile Bridge and Tulla and Newmarket and Fergus were all playing in the 60s. All the crowd in the stand in the side of the pitch used to have hurleys, and they used to dig graves behind the goals. Mental stuff, you know, the kind of stuff that used to go on in those days, and all that. But yeah, no, I would say it would have to be my dad.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
What would you, Brian?
Well, I've just been pondering that as Jim's been talking, and of course, family, they're definitely there, and an equal measure, you know, parents, siblings, 100%. There's one person from when I was around 11 years old that sticks in my head, just pinged into my head as you asked the question. It's a teacher called Mr. Evans.
Yeah.
PE teacher in my middle school, and up till around 11 I was a bit of a codster at school. Okay, I was a messer. I lacked focus. Okay, and I remember being completely rollicked. This is back in the days where you could get properly rollicked from a teacher.
Get a right
I
hammer.
just missed the slipper, but I definitely got the chalkboard to the back of the head. You know, the eraser.
Oh, yeah.
So we're in the 80s here, early 80s.
Duster, they call
Yeah,
it.
the duster. And Mr. Evans took me aside and he gave me a real rollicking. And he basically said that if I don't sort of focus up and have a plan and stop this messing around, and unless I do exactly what he would say, he was my form head for that year. And I'd had mixed reviews from teachers, but this fella, he was brilliant. One of my favourite teachers from all my school career was Mr. Evans, because he made me focus.
Yeah.
And I don't look up to people generally. Certainly not now. I don't have it. I don't look at other people, and I'm not envious in any regard. I don't say I want to be like that person. I am my own person. But for someone who's influenced where I am right now, Mr. Evans, PE teacher from Brookside Middle School,
There you go.
mid-80s.
Yeah.
I would swap a day with one of the 1995 Clare hurlers to win the Ireland. I would just do a 24-hour swap. Play the game and get the All-Ireland medal. No, that
It was like a Freaky Friday.
Yeah, Freaky Friday. We might not win the All-Ireland with me on the pitch, but
You give it a good shot.
you have a good shot.
Oh, that's brilliant. Eh? So what I wanted to ask, and been asking this to everybody who's come on the podcast, because everybody has their own different tastes and likes. If you could recommend one book or a TV show or a movie, what would it be? And
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
sold. Oh,
He's a big fan.
Yeah. I try and read every couple of years. So yeah, Lord of the Rings all day long, followed by The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
Good movies.
amazing. Like,
No, I'm talking about the book.
Oh, the book. Oh,
The
yeah.
book, not
Book,
the movies.
yeah.
The book.
Yeah.
All day long. Fantastic read.
powerful. Like, and even Rings. I don't know if Rings of Power. If you watched Rings of Power,
I haven't seen it all yet, no.
especially the second season of it.
It's very good.
Blew me
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
I do find it funny though that they spent $1 billion on that, and yet Clarkson's Farm has hammered them in the ratings. It has, absolutely.
Jesus.
That's what's wrong with the world.
That's what's wrong with it.
God help us.
Oh, my God.
You know?
So yeah, that would be my book, Lord of the Rings.
Like, my intro changes week to week, like, but I had picked Lord of the Rings theme for this one, hence why I said my brother, my captain, my king, and the end draft was in there. That was just I think it was meant to be.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love those books as well, but I guess for me, I get it's a classic movie now at this stage, even though when it first came out it was panned, but I've watched it maybe 100 times, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
I just love that movie.
It is a great
And
movie.
it's an unbelievable movie. You know that, and of course you've got your classics like Godfather and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I love all of that stuff
Not
as
number
well.
3.
I love this. I love the cinema. I love the cinema.
Yeah.
I always did when I used to work in the States and be working in Midtown Manhattan, and then you get 2 hours in the middle or 3 hours in the middle,
You got
down to
to
42nd Street, into the AMC, whatever movie was on. It's a great way to relax, and then back on to work the rest of the night like that.
Yeah.
But I've always been passionate about the cinema. I remember when Lucia and I were in Los Angeles, and Lucia was running a company out there, movie duplication for the airline industry. So
right.
the likes of, if Fox Studios had a movie, then Lucia would go to get the rights to that movie and then sell those rights and duplicate all the cassettes for the airlines. So British Air.
right.
So they would put the orders in once you had the movie and stuff like that. But I remember being out there, it was Christmas Day, it would have been 1998, and there was no family in town, and we were busy over that period. And so Christmas Day in America, I'm not sure if it still is, but it was a big release day for movies, because Thanksgiving's their big holiday and family holiday. So I remember on Christmas Day we went in and saw 3 movies, new releases, one after the other. Then went to an Irish bar on 3rd and Santa Monica or something like that. Great wee Irish bar down there in the evening time for a bite to eat.
Do you remember
and
what those
drinks.
3 movies were?
Yeah, I was just
Oh,
about
I
to
can't.
ask
I
you.
can't remember. I'm sure Lucia would.
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head. But it was just that we were both passionate about the cinema. We just loved movies.
Do you remember ever the first movie you ever seen in the cinema?
Yeah, it was Buffalo Bill in the 1970s. The Buffalo Bill show that came out on TV in the 70s, and Mum and Dad took us all into it. It was a big experience. There used to be a cinema up near me, run by a family in Tulla. And I remember it was 50 pence to get into it, and you get in there 50 pence, and then they had a down section 50 pence. You'd pay £1 to get upstairs.
Yeah.
As soon as the lights came out, everybody was trying to get up to the top section.
Do you remember the cinema in Castledare?
Yeah.
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 I
Seen
remember.
Ghost there.
Stairway to Heaven, wasn't it? The dog.
Yeah.
And your little wafer ice cream for 10p.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
Showing
think.
your age there.
Yeah, I know. I'm showing my age. Crazy
I don't remember
times.
that.
I know. Yeah. So cinema's always been passionate, but I love books and reading and everything else like that as well. But
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing how films like that panned, but then like even It's a Wonderful Life. It's probably my
I
favorite
love that
Christmas movie.
Yeah, anything by Jimmy Stewart,
Yeah.
mad fan about, and I even love all the old westerns and all the stuff like that.
My dad used to watch with them.
I know.
So I was watching them by default.
Yes, exactly. But I grew up in. Lucia always slags me. Do you not see this show and that show? But I said, but you had what 3-4 channels. I had one channel. We had RTE, and that was it.
Yeah, we used to see
And then I
Because
remember
we were on
when,
the border, we actually got the
we had
six.
RTE.
yeah, and then I remember when RT2 came along, and that was huge. And God forgive me, I remember when Colour came in. And, oh, geez.
my days.
we were very limited on what we could watch.
Actually, Marie remembers getting mains electricity into her place.
Yeah.
I remember having these conversations with her. It's like, where on earth did you live? I was a city boy, and it's like, you remember getting electricity? We're the same age.
Yeah.
And so she used to run a TV on the peat bog.
Yeah, because remember like when Rosemary Conley here and her father Barney
Yes.
met his wife. She lived down in outside Clough, wasn't it, in Strabane, where they had electricity. But she came and married him, lived with him in a place that had no electricity.
And I remember then, in the 70s and stuff, every winter power cuts.
Yeah.
It was just a natural thing. You had power cuts every. Ironically, lately it's been a lot of
Still
that.
happening.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
I thought those days were gone.
Oh my goodness.
Christmas Day.
On a weekend when I booked a bouncy castle and had a load of kids and no electricity.
I know.
I had
and
great fun.
It's mad that it's coming full
Oh, it
circle.
is, yeah.
And I thought that all that was done, but
Yeah.
I remember every winter in the 70s, it was nearly every week. It was
Yeah,
power
it was.
cuts. Every week.
I think that's about 4 power cuts in the last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And come here, how does that affect your business then?
Big generator.
Big generator.
Oh, thank God for
Yeah,
that.
Christmas Day, roast potatoes were in, 25 burns for Christmas Day.
Oh my God.
And the power goes out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So there was me hastily rigging up a cable from the Jenny, which doesn't run the house, to the house.
Yeah.
Um,
At least you had it.
Well, Alec and I were sitting having a beer going, Brian, are you okay?
well, the funny thing is, it was late afternoon. I'd had several beers.
Yeah.
And I was playing around with 3-phase electricity. It was like, it all works.
Forget the dinner, straight to the sherry.
Exactly.
But then when we got the storm through, we were out power for a week.
We were out just up the road there for almost a week too. No power.
The great storm of 2025.
No, but
No, storm one.
I remember I had a bar and restaurant in Florida for many, many years, and
Just get tropical storms over there.
hurricanes.
Hurricanes, yeah.
I was in Florida when Hurricane Katrina came through.
You were not.
So it came through Florida as a Category 1 into the Gulf of Mexico, powered up to 5 and hit New Orleans and did all the damage there.
Yeah.
But we knew, because it came through us, and the damage that it did for a Category 1 was devastating, and we went, this is a beast.
Yeah.
And when it became a 5, it really became a beast. I remember, those 4 or 5 years in the early 2000s, we were getting 6-7 hurricanes a year. Next to where I had the bar, there was a place called Salito Lindos. There was a lovely Mexican family, and they had the restaurant for 20 years in the family. You know the way when a hurricane comes through, you get the little tornadoes.
Yeah.
Cause unbelievable damage. Missed me, crossed the car park, hit the Salito Lindos and just destroyed it. And because you can't get insurance, natural act,
Yeah.
he was gone the next day.
Lost
His 20
everything.
years business was gone overnight.
Oh my God.
But you've crazy times.
That's another reason why you moved.
Yeah, well, you did 4 or 5 years of that, and you were like, okay, enough's enough. You know.
Could have been easily you.
Yeah.
Oh, 100% it could have been us. You know, we just by a complete freak. So when you see a storm come through here like that, you know, it's dangerous stuff. It's devastating stuff.
Scary.
Like that. I'm more scared of wind than I would be of
Yeah.
anything else. But I guess to that level, it's devastating. You know.
It's followed you then over here then.
Yes, yeah, it has.
Is that what you're telling us?
It's time to move.
So, last question of the evening. What's your favourite thing about Aghyaran? Besides the lovely ground in which
Don't
you
all
throw your
rush.
gin.
A long pause there.
Oh, God.
Well, I'd like to say it was the weather, but it's not.
No.
I would say it's the people. Ultimately, I don't want that to sound twee or anything like that. We live here for a reason, you know. The people, the community, the connections you make. We could have easily have moved, but ultimately we came here for the people, which is Marie's parents and family, and we stayed for the town, for the parish ultimately, and that's not changing anytime soon. You know, we lived just down the road here at Frankie's place when we first moved.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were in there for a couple of years. That was some change from Spain, sunshine, sunny Spain,
To the Calgary Road.
and one of the questions earlier with regards to do you regret anything? There were moments. I remember looking out the window a couple of times, and then we got
The view is spectacular.
the view's gorgeous,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
But I remember, I think it was 2009 or 10, we had a massive cold spell. I mean, it was a real sort of snowstorm we had. And I was thinking, I've just spent 15 years living in Spain. What have I done?
I can imagine. Oh, my God.
But, you know, you quickly put all that behind you. and you
move
know,
forward.
And we move forward. It's the running theme. So, you know, ultimately, we settle where we settle on Treenamungan Road. And the views are spectacular, you know. And I love going down the road and the fact that you see people who you know. You know, now, look, I don't know all the people's names.
Yeah.
Even though I've been here been coming here for nearly 30 years. But Marie knows everybody.
Yeah.
And I'll meet somebody and she'll say that person's name, and then the next breath, they were at our wedding. I'm like, okay. If you say so. And biggest risk is that if we go to a town just for a loaf of bread, she'll go, look, if I go into the co-op, only half an hour.
Easy.
So you better go. So, you know.
And then you come out, and there's still half an hour to
I know, right?
in the car park.
Somebody else in the car park.
I know, but that's the funny thing about the people. So we had the big launch event down in the Guildhall in March, and my family flew in for it, and it was a big party. It was great fun. And we put a coach on. Kieran put a coach on for us, and my family kind of got the feel that it was all slowing down. So they said, oh, we're going to go off to the bus and we'll see you there in a few minutes. I'm like, first of all, you see that lady over there? That's Maura Burke.
Oh, yeah.
Till she leaves and says goodbye to everybody twice,
You're going nowhere.
you're going nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's the people, you know, and so that's my answer. Ultimately, that's why we're here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would agree with that. You know, when I came home, it took me 10 years to settle. It took me 10 years because I spent so many years, like I said, in cities and everything like that when I came back. But we came home for the right reason. We came home for the kids to meet the grandparents and to be with the grandparents and memories that they'll never forget now. And, you know, which is very, very important. People don't realise how important it is. But also, you know, you got to remember, we live in a great country. Ireland's an unbelievable country. And you don't realise sometimes how good it is until you go and live somewhere where it's tough enough, you know. If you're in a country, you don't have the paperwork and you're illegal and you're trying to survive and do all this kind of stuff, then you come home and you do what you want, go where you want. It makes a big difference. It's one of the advice I give to my daughter if she's going anywhere now: go legally, get the paperwork. Don't do what we did, you know, because those days are gone now.
Yeah.
You
Peace of
can't do
mind.
peace of mind. Yeah. You need that. And, you know, as Brian said, 200 people showing up on the day to have a look at what we've done, or these crazy guys at up here. I could do with joining the Aghyaran running club again, but I remember when I was studying up at McGee, and we used to have the running club on a Monday and a Wednesday, and there's a great guy here in the parish, Mark Connolly, and he's always been great in the community with running clubs and stuff, but God, he was a hard taskmaster. But in 6 weeks you'd have lost the weight and you'd be fit again. I'm half thinking of joining again, but then I'm kind of thinking, can I put myself through the pain?
Get your heart checked first.
Yeah, get my heart checked first. But that that was a great. And then you get into the 5K runs.
Yeah.
There was always one on once or twice a month. It was just a great way, and you always for charity and always for a good cause and always that. And I am sports mad. I love my GA. I love my sports. So being able to go to a game or watch a game or go down to the pitch and see a game and stuff like that is so important. My youngest girl, believe it or not, loves rugby now.
Oh,
She's
brilliant.
playing rugby with Letterkenny Rugby
Oh,
Club.
no way.
Brilliant.
She took a year off this year because she was doing her junior cert.
Yeah.
But she's gone back into it now next year as well. And you know, when you're watching 100 young girls out playing rugby, it gobsmacks you because you think of all the sports. You go down to the pitch on a Saturday and cool camps are coming up now.
Yeah.
And you see all these youngsters out and about. So I grew up in a small parish like Aghyaran, and GA was the heart of everything. And I had my arguments with GA, believe me, we all do. But for children and for sports and for the activity and school, and there's nothing better, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's important. And I wanted my kids to get the upbringing that Lucia and I had. I think it was very important. That spirit and that sense of community and everything else. It all sounds a bit cliched and everything else, but it's so true.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the older you get, the more important it becomes.
Absolutely.
Like Owen Devine had said, like the centre, as it's called.
Yeah.
What a more fitting name than
And
the centre, because that is the centre of the
I
community.
remember the first time I came back here, I was saying it to you earlier that where I come from, County Clare, we play 45 and up here they play 25. So when I arrived over here first time back from London with Lucia, Alec took me to the GA centre on a Sunday night, I think it was, to play cards. And I knew what Alec was saying, do you know what you're doing? And I said, yeah, I do. But I had to learn a little bit about the 25 because it's much sharper, and then you can't afford to mess up because, oh my God, they would eat you at the table. If you threw the wrong card down, they would eat you. So anyway, I got the hang of it. I actually won my first night back. I don't think I've ever won since, but I won that first night. And I looked around and Alec Byrne was gone.
Your lift was out of there.
He got beaten earlier on in the night. Forgot that he didn't know that he didn't know the future son-in-law was still there, and he left. And then Lucia was back at the house. She goes, "Where's Jim?" And he goes, "Oh." And he got in the car and came back and picked me up.
They forgot about you.
Yeah, I know. Well, those guys, and we were talking about some of the players earlier, Jimmy and all these guys, all gone now, all passed away, like, but there were some characters, and the crack used to be unbelievable, like, you know. There, the GA Centre, the Heritage Centre as well, the card plays and stuff like that. I love, it's what I grew up with. I wanted my kids to see that and experience that, like, you know, because I think it's that grounding is important for me, for them, to have it.
For them to have it, yeah.
You know, except we had a better hurling team than you, the football team. That's the only thing I can say.
We'll not go down that rabbit hole.
Just keep turning left.
Well, guys, couldn't appreciate it anymore. That was absolutely
great.
fantastic. Absolutely delighted to have you as guest here today. The Wild
Very
Atlantic
interesting,
Distillery, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Brian Nash and Jim Nash.
We appreciate you inviting
you.
us. It was a real pleasure.
That was fantastic. Thanks as always to my wonderful co-host Claire.
You're very welcome.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please join us again next time. Hasta luego.
Chronicles of AghyNarnia.
I gotta say, guys, your introduction and that it's off.
It's all him.
No.
I just come along for the crack.
But it said such a. It's really, really
It is.
interesting.
It's quite comfortable. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because we do all these videos, and you know, as in not videos, but you know, we're trying to read stuff. Social media. We hate
it.
doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, Marie will come in and say, "Right, need a video to do this."
Okay.
Well, this is easy because this is natural.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You're just talking.
You
Sit
just
and chat. Yeah.
You know. So,
Yeah.
no, that was great. Thanks.
Chronicles of AghyNarnia.
The Poaching Man by James McMenamin. Read to you by Sir Bruce Wayne McKellen. Learned men have used the pen to praise it to the sky, that poaching clean from Erin's green, distilled from wheat and rye. Away with pills that cure the ills of them and me and you. Doff your coat and clear your throat with Erin's mountain dew.
Chronicles of AghyNarnia.
Well, folks, first up we have a wee tune called A Glass of Beer played by trad trio The Spirit Makers, aka the wonderful Sean Dolan, the fantastic John McGlinchey, and the amazing Lauren Haggerty. Enjoy.
1, 2.
Well, how about that? A lovely piece of music by the Spirit Makers. Well, folks, closing out the show, we have our very own co-host with the most, the fabulous Claire Devine. Sluncha.
I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me. In these last few days I've been afraid that I might drift away. I've been telling old stories, singing songs that make me think about where I come from. That's the reason why I seem so far away today. Let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. AghyNarnia, you are calling me. Now I'm going home. But if I should become a stranger, now it'll make me more than sad. AghyNarnia has been everything I've ever had. Well, I have moved, I've kept on moving. I've proved the point that I needed proving. I've lost the friends that I needed losing, found others on the way. I have kissed the fellows and left them sighing, stolen dreams that there's no denying. I've traveled hard, sometimes with conscience flying, somewhere with the wind. And let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. AghyNarnia, you are calling me. Now I'm going home. But if I should become a stranger, now it'll make me more than sad. AghyNarnia has been everything I've ever had. I'm sitting here before the fire, the empty room, the forest choir. The flames have cooled, don't get any higher. The withered, now they're gone. Well, I'm steady thinking my way's clear, and I know what I will do tomorrow. The hands have shaken, the kisses flow, and I will disappear. And let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. AghyNarnia, you are calling me. Now I'm going home. But if I should become a stranger, now it'll make me more than sad. AghyNarnia has been everything I've ever had. Yes, AghyNarnia has been everything I've ever had.
To AghyNarnia and beyond.